I don't want to be mean, but I'm gonna be mean. It was like a bunch of dumb bitches in a Discord chat going exactly to each other for like 6 months. That's what eventually created this video, unfortunately. Every time I watch like this, I have to ask, like, am I the only person that still has anxiety? Like, I check every email that I ever send. I check it like 92 times to make sure I don't write like yourself bitch in the email. Now we want to stay focused. No! Please engage in unfounded speculation and attack her character unprompted. We're gonna watch Mr. Enter's video on Saber Spark. Yay. This is a guaranteed Malcolm crash out. Guaranteed Malcolm crash out. So, I don't know who the fuck Mr. Enter is. I don't know who this bitch is. This guy has, what is this? 250k subs on YouTube. I don't know who this man is. I don't know. All of you media people are very weird to me. I don't know. Sai is like one of the good ones. Sai is one of the good ones. Sai gets the pass, I suppose. Everybody else can just like eat shit, I suppose. Sai and Ant, sometimes Crim. I'm sure that I'm gonna crash out. But before I begin, I've watched a few pieces here and there. I've been told that I'm going to crash out. The few pieces, bits and pieces that I listened to, I did not crash out over. But I've been told by reliable sources that I am gonna crash the fuck out watching this. The bar is really low, I guess. If we're not raping and we're not molesting, apparently we're in God's good graces. I don't know. And don't even start talking to me about turning red. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, okay, so my criticism is going to be the same thing for the Beckett video. You waited too long. You waited way too long. Like, when did this video came out? This came out 3 days ago. The Saber Spark thing has come and gone. Like, if you want to crank out the Saber Spark content, there's a very small window for you to, like, punch that shit out, and we missed the window. I said the same thing about the Beckett video, where he was like, I think that I'm going to wait another week or so to post this video. And it's like, no, bitch, like, you waited way too long. Like, I think I'm going to wait a bit, isn't it? No, bitch. Put it out right now. You've already waited too long. It's already been like 2 fucking weeks. Everybody's talking about a different rape. There's like 5 different rapes that have happened since the last rape that you tried to cover, okay? The rape machine moves quickly, okay? We need to get on it quickly, okay? So that's my number one criticism. So I've been told contradictory things about this video. I've been told that there's nothing new that is really, you know, brought about in here. Like, there's not, like, groundbreaking, like, oh my god, we never knew this before. But I've also heard that there are, like, new revelations. I don't fucking know, okay? I don't pretend to know. I just... I'm here because you guys want me to crash out. That's literally why I'm here. I sit here in this chair, and I get mad, and I kick my feet, and I scream inside, and I chain smoke cigarettes because that's what you guys want of me. So we're here. I'm sure that I'm going to crash out. Let's go over this Saber Spark thing. My prediction is that it's going to be the same thing as Beckett's video, where it's like, KP was just a dumb woman moment, dumb woman easily manipulated. It was all Brony Fandont. Other than that, you know, KP, dumb mistake, LOL, tee-hee-hee, she's just a fucking girl. La 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 la. That's what I imagine is gonna happen. Yeah. I imagine Mr. Enter has this big ass fucking broom out. I get it, you know. A woman! I've never seen one of those before. I completely get it. That's my prediction, I guess. My prediction. So, everybody, let's get ready to crash the fuck out. Let's go, girls.
Slay. Oh my god. Slay.
Disclaimer 1. All parties are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Do not contact or harass anyone mentioned in this video. Disclaimer 2. This video talks about crimes and activities of a violent and disturbing nature. Viewer discretion is advised. Disclaimer 3. This video should only be viewed by those 18 or older. We talk about some pretty serious...
If you're under the age of 18 and you're in my chat, get the f out. How about that? I'll be a little bit more aggressive. All my shit is age-gated anyway. So, if you somehow are, like, under the age of 18, go away. I hate you.
Subject matter, and minors should not be present for these discussions.
But I like to think of myself with the Jon Stewart of the YouTube animation community. I call things out when I feel like I can add something to the conversation.
Dude, no!
But I like to think of myself with the Jon Stewart of the YouTube animation community. I call things out.
Does anybody else love Rush Limbaugh? Like, low-key, he's fire. He just be saying it. What did he say? He said that crazy thing about AIDS, didn't he? Oh yeah, like this is so unhinged, you guys. Like this is crazy. Like talk show radio is just like another fucking beast. I don't understand. He would do a regular segment called the AIDS update where he would celebrate AIDS related deaths. Like he'd be like, "All right, guys, time for another AIDS update," and then he would just read out all the people that fucking died of AIDS. Like what? Isn't that fucking insane? Isn't that insane? And you'll never guess what I grew up listening to. That's right. Rush Limbaugh. That's where I get it from. That's where I get it from. All right, guys, it's time. Hang on one second. Where's my soundboard? This is important. Hey, guys, guess what? Quiet. It's time for another AIDS update. Today, we lost politics streamer Xander Hall to his battle with AIDS. Okay. Sorry, guys.
Out when I feel like I can add something to the conversation.
This is the YouTuber I Love Kim Possible a Lot, also known as KP. Real name Rachel. If you've been in the Brony fandom for a while, you've probably at least heard of her. She was a big deal back in the day. However, as the fandom faded from relevance, her channel largely fell into obscurity. She tried jumping into general animation reviews like most people who survived that crash, but she never quite could stick the landing. It was a rare day that her videos climbed past 10k views. If you're not a die-hard fan, the only time that you probably heard of her this decade was last year. Courtney Pete appeared on the internet. She is the sister of the controversial and debatably human Lily Orchard. Courtney gave her personal account of everything that her sister allegedly did to her. It was...
Watch Xander Hall clip that out of context. I was gonna say something fucked up. It's okay. We're gonna continue. I'm just gonna pretend like that. I'm practicing godliness right now. So.
a lot, and it kickstarted a new era of people looking into Lily Orchard's many, many controversies. Rachel made a video with Courtney appearing in it, signal boosting the Lily Orchard story. It was her most viewed video in years, and even became sort of a reference point in the Lily Orchard story. Fast forward to this year. Rachel had been hyping up a new video, a lot. Tweets and community posts galore. At first, the video seemed to be about the YouTube channel DA Games, but as the months went on, KP began saying that she had career-ruining allegations towards Saber Spark. DA Games was one thing. It's a community that has many known and documented controversies. But Saber Spark is another story entirely. If you're watching my channel, I know that you have at least heard of Saber Spark. At present, he has 2 million subscribers and was the first cartoon channel to cross the 1 million subscriber mark. Practically speaking, he's the largest member of the cartoon community. And even more surprising for a channel of his size, with a few exceptions, he didn't really have any controversies to speak of. And most of the ones that he did have could be considered fairly minor. Things like getting into a spat with the right-wing channel Freedom Tunes. If you had news about this man, career-ruining allegations, let's just say that all eyes were on you. On May 1st of 2024.
The other thing too is that, like, I don't know how terminally online I want to be today, because I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with like niche Twitch poll drama or anything like that. I had the exact same criticism for Demon Mama and her shit about like Xander Hall. So really quick TLDR, I have videos about this on my YouTube channel. So if you want more, like lore about this or a more in-depth analysis or understanding, go and do that later. But too long didn't read. Demon Mama and Xander Hall were like buds, right? So Xander Hall doesn't know how to drive. Demon Mama went and got him from California and drove him up to Washington. So they were like in real life buds, okay? Xander Hall like crashed the fuck out on several occasions and like threatened to kill people, threatened to kill his own family, threatened to kill Keffels, asked for Keffels' docs so he could kill her, like all this other insane shit. Just like unhinged, deranged, like actually fucking like 5150 this bitch behavior, okay? But what ended up happening, and what everybody's big criticism was, is that Demon Mama was aware of this, and Demon Mama sat on that information until Xan pissed her off. So this happened, if I remember the timeline correctly, and I could be way off, I think that this like mega crash out happened in like November or December, and then she sat on it until like February, I think. And she didn't say anything about it. She didn't tell anybody about it. She didn't, like contact his family and be like, yo, like he's talking about actually fucking killing you guys. Like shit like that, like school shooter level shit. She didn't say anything about it. She just held on to it until he made her mad. And then once she was like, oh, he pissed me off, then she decided to publish it and make it public knowledge. Which is like a shitty, snaky, weasel, like shit fuck waste of a thing to do. Like if somebody's out here like threatening to kill people and shit, there's no reason for you to like save that for a rainy day, and when they make you mad enough, then you decide to talk about it. Like that would be the criticism, right? So let's just say that KP has this information. Chris from DA Games and Saberspark are evil rape Malice masters. They've raped 1,000, and they're gonna rape 1,000 more, okay? But KP is gonna hold on to it because she's got a really important YouTube video coming up. Like, if this bitch is out here raping people, you should be telling people about it. It's not like a save it for a rainy day, I'm gonna wait and I'm gonna sit on it, so it looks really good on my YouTube hit piece. You're gonna tell people about it, right? Like, if somebody came to me and they said, oh my god, I'm going to kill Cy Scribbles in real life, here is my plan, this is where Cy Scribbles lives, I'm on my way to kill Cy Scribbles, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna save this, I'm gonna screenshot this and put this away in a folder, and then, I don't know, maybe later there will be some drama with Cy, and this will look really fucking good in my expose video. It's like, no, bitch, I'm like on the phone with 911 and Cy at the same time, and I'm like, run! You know what I mean? Like, I think that that's weasel shit, and I think that this is an example of KP actually not giving a fuck about anybody involved in any of this. She just wanted her clout. She just wanted her 2 seconds of attention, which, congratulations, she got way more than 2 seconds. And that's the one thing that I will say. I was pretty critical of Beckett because you guys know how much I hate British people. He's not even British. He's like South African, which is even worse if you ask me. I was pretty critical of Beckett, but I agree 100% that at the end of the day, every conversation that anybody will ever have about the Saber Spark, Chris, Black Griffin fiasco is that nobody actually gives a about the quote-unquote victims. They only care about the clout that they can get off of, you know, weaponizing and wielding victims against each other. That's just about it. So Beckett was right about that.
The video was released, complete with a premiere and a watch party. Unfortunately for KP, if this video killed anyone's career, it was not Saberspark's. It was her own.
Shadow the Hedgehog is a bitch-ass motherfucker! He pissed on my fucking wife! That's right! He said his dick was this big, and I said that!
Also, you guys, you know, when we watched the original video here, and I had on my yellow t-shirt, I really didn't plan that. That was like a total mistake. It was so embarrassing that I'm watching this video and I look like Saber Spark. It was terrible. It was terrible. It was a really bad day for everyone, including me, okay?
Disgusting! So I'm making a call-out post on my Twitter.com! Shadow the Hedgehog, you got a small fucking dick!
I have Cy's docs, and I don't do anything with it except I prank call Cy. Like, once every... I set my alarm for, like, 2 o'clock in the morning, and then I call Cy, and I say, have you checked the children? And then I hang up. That's what I've done with Cy's docs. I have it. I'm an evil, malignant doxer. And you know what I do with it? I prank call Cy at 2 o'clock in the morning.
It's the size of this walnut, but way fucking smaller!
This is a real clip in the real video. The entire thing is filled with nostalgia critic type sketch comedy, lingering jokes, bad pacing, and even technical errors. Some of the censorship in it is very poorly done. Like, you can easily make out all of the details of a dick pic that Rachel quote-unquote censored. I'm not showing it at all for what I hope are obvious reasons. But the video itself has been archived and preserved and re-uploaded on many channels. So if you are really curious, you can see it for yourself. Just know what you're getting into. What was hyped up to be about Saber Spark barely ended up being about him at all. In the end, the video wasn't even really about DA Games. The crux of the video was about Rachel's conflict with a former editor of hers named Aficionados Chris, who had worked for her a decade prior, and now works with Saberspark and DA Games. And even though Saberspark was largely treated as an afterthought, one moment of the Saberspark segment in the video is what got everyone talking about it. Rachel has an anonymous testimony accusing Saberspark of sexual assault on 2 separate occasions. And it comes out of nowhere in the context of the video. Like, it's in there with the structural integrity of a rickroll. So what we have here is a video where the largest member of the community is accused of some of the worst crimes possible after a slog of Seinfeld jokes and, this.
It looks like 2 balls and a bone! He fucked my wife, guess what? I'm gonna fuck Leah! That's right! That's what you get! My super laser piss!
People were upset. People still are upset. There were CSA survivors in the premiere chat who complained about the video proper, but they ended up getting berated by Courtney Pete, who was featured extensively in the video. The backlash was swift and immense, and to some extent, still...
This is... No, I don't want to be mean, but I'm gonna be mean. Like, if you want to do your, pedo hunting bullshit, which is what this, you know, culminated into, was, everybody, it was like a bunch of dumb bitches in a Discord chat going exactly to each other for like 6 months. That's what eventually created this video, unfortunately. If you want to do this kind of stuff, which I don't think that you ever should, you have to be really, 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 really careful about the optical implications of people that you keep company with. Okay, you have to. You have to be super mindful of that, okay? Because, like, I don't think that anybody is surprised I don't think that anybody is surprised that Courtney was in the fucking live chat, like going after everyone and their mom that had even kind of a negative thing to say about the video. I don't think anybody was like, wow, I never saw that coming. I think everybody knew that that was going to happen, but here's the problem, is that that looks bad on you because you can't control your attack dog, okay? Everybody has one, okay? DZ is my strongest attack dog. DZ will kill a bitch. DZ has killed bitches for me, okay? DZ is like my my Italian mafia guy who's like, hey, we need to come over here and talk about this. Okay, that's DZ for me, okay? DZ is my hitman, okay? But if I did like a video and DZ was like in the premiere and just being like, I don't care that you were raped, pussy, I'd be like, DZ, what are you doing right now? Stop, please. Think of my wife and kids, bro. What are you doing? If you want to have an attack dog, you have to keep your attack dog on a leash. And I'm not being misogynistic, you guys. I'm not saying Courtney is a dog. I'm not saying that at all, okay? I'm not being misogynistic, okay? My word is my bond. I love all women, okay? I support all women. But, like, if you want to hinge, like, your ability to be meaningfully impactful in the world of sexual assault survivors, we should not be having sexual assault survivors fighting each other in the premiere of our YouTube videos. That is optical suicide. You actually might as well be committing suicide at that point. Because, like, what are you doing right now? What are you doing right now? It's like cockfighting, but for rape survivors. What did she think was going to happen? This doesn't look good on any front, does it? Anyone? Hello?
Still ongoing, even almost a month later. The video was unlisted and then privated within hours. And while it was preserved, the video itself had several assets in the description. The Google document version of the accuser's statement against Saberspark, and the initial call with Chris that started this whole thing. These simply disappeared for a time because cutting off the video was immediate priority.
You missed it, Melina. Hang on. I need to save this. I sent the Auschwitz one to Cloud. Hang on, where is it? I think I'm gonna put this one on my soundboard. Hang on, where is it? This one's going on my soundboard.
You deserve to be a VIP in Auschwitz.
I love it. I love it. I love it, you guys. I love it. I think I'm just gonna... I love it. I love it. I think it's... Obviously, it's inappropriate, you guys. Anti-Semitism is never funny. It's really fucked up, and she shouldn't have said it, but just one time.
You deserve to be a VIP in Auschwitz.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm sorry.
People tried to preserve the description, but the links to these things were broken because they were so long. I was able to find them, but they had to be collected through roundabout means. The video certainly made a splash, and everyone wanted to know, what the hell is going on here? When it comes to Saberspark, there are only two real possibilities. Either it happened or it didn't. And all Rachel provided for evidence, in the video at least, was a twit longer that, fun fact, got one of the dates wrong. The two incidents are both alleged to have happened in 2012, not 2013. If this did happen, Rachel presented the worst case imaginable, and very few people were publicly believing the alleged victim. And if it didn't happen, I can't imagine a more effective strategy to speedrunning becoming a community pariah. As the saying goes, if you take a shot at the king, you best not miss. And this is why.
Oh my god, bitch, I said that. Mr. Enter is stealing my bits now? Mr. Enter is stealing my talking points? You guys, I can't go anywhere. The paparazzi are out of fucking control. I can't believe this. I can't believe this. Beckett was stealing my shit. Now Mr. Enter is stealing my shit. This is crazy. This is crazy. James Somerton, who? Oh my fucking god, dude. Ethel was right. I should sue everybody who's plagiarizing me. Ethel was 100% correct.
One of the most frustrating things about Saberspark as a content creator is that he never seems to address anything. Talking about even his remotest controversies seems to be banned on all of his socials. And anytime you comment about even something small, like his Twitter likes, it gets quickly removed. It would have to be an extreme controversy to get him to make a response, which Saberspark did on the 12th of May, simply called Response. When I first watched Rachel's video, I was very confused. And then as it sat with me, I got angry. And then I decided to get involved. I am mostly detached from the situation. DA Games and their community hurt one of my friends, and they were very upset with the video in general. Rachel has also not been the best to a couple of my other friends. Lazy Bedhead was also in the video, and while she did have more context than some of the others who were put in the video...
Is Lazy Bedhead the one that looks like she makes like a mean mocha frap? Is that who I'm thinking of? They, them, energy. Listen, I love the they, thems, you guys. I love them. I love them. I literally love them. You know what I mean? I'm just asking. Is that the same one? Is that the same one? Not in a derogatory, in an endearing way. I mean it in an endearing way. You know, like when you walk into the Starbucks and you see the barista with like the purple like the purple Fallout Raider haircut, you're like, oh yeah, dude, this coffee is gonna fuck like that. You know what I mean? It's a good thing. It's a compliment. Those bitches make good coffee. Those people, those monarchs, they make good coffee.
Few people had the full context to what was being released. But as far as being involved in the original situation, I'm not. I don't know KP. I don't know Saberspark. Well, I know of them. I don't know them personally. And I don't have a horse in this race either way. But someone has to do due diligence. And considering some of the background events that have happened during the month of May, I'm kind of worried about how this is progressing. Either way, I want to get to the truth of the matter here as best I can. As usual, I have the help of a team. I will be upfront this time, though. We're not going to have all of the answers. I'm not going to hand down a definitive verdict. The crux of the situation happened in 2012. There are always going to be unknowns with a time gap of more than a decade. This is not a Phoenix Wright game where there's a smoking gun that definitively points to a target. This is real life where things are alleged to have happened in a hotel room with no cameras and no witnesses. And in the real world, when people are traumatized, sometimes the last thing people think of is proving that it happened at all. Here is what I will promise you. I will give you everything that you need to know to form a more informed opinion on Saberspark. I left Kim Possible a lot and the allegation in question, trying best to remove it from the context of this clusterfuck. Speaking of that, one of the more immediate mistakes that KP made was trying to cover both DA Games and Saberspark in the same video. The only through line between the two was their mutual editor, Chris. But the situations and scenarios are very different. I am personally focused on Saberspark in this video. DA Games controversies are much better documented. There is a Google Doc about them, and a lot more people are outwardly speaking out on that issue, but they will not be my focus for this video. And please pardon the more minimal editing in this investigation video. I'm not doing the whole Danganronpa thing again. That was hell in the editing bag. Chapter 1, the beginning of the end. I believe that the best way to tackle this case in particular is to start with the fallout and work our way back to the video proper. After all, the video in question isn't where the story ended. Honestly, it's somewhere in the middle. By doing this, we may have a definitive answer to how did this even happen? Saberspark's response on this vault was a strange one, mainly due to the fact that it exists at all. The man does not like speaking on controversies.
This isn't a controversy. This is like fucking slander. What are you talking about? There's a big difference here. There's a big difference here, right? There's a big difference between like, oh, it's a little bit of online internet drama, and people are literally accusing me of being a rapist. One demands a little bit more of a response. I think if somebody was like, oh my god, Saberspark said I wish somebody was an Auschwitz VIP. That's way different than Saberspark is a raper. Those are like two totally different things.
Small, big, any of them. He makes the fans of Freedom Tunes angry, he just quietly removes that segment from the video and never talks about it again. And while sexual assault allegations are definitely much more serious than a YouTube feud, very few people seem to be going to bat for these allegations. There was KP, obviously, and the Brony Fandont account who brought the allegations to light. For reference, Brony Fandont is a shared Twitter account by two individuals, Bonk and Sophie. At least it was shared at the time the video came out. Sophie has since changed the password for a reason that we will get to. That account...
Guess what? Guess who's back on Twitter now? It's Bonk. Oh my god. Just when you thought there was peace, justice, an order in our new galaxy. Nope. Bonk is back.
Exists largely to signal boost the allegations and controversies towards someone called Black Griffin. Because that story is tangentially related to Saberspark, the accuser was sent to Brony Fandont by a friend named Amy. Neither of the Brony Fandont users were able to help immediately, but they heard that KP was making a video involving Saberspark, so the accuser was sent in that direction. Even after the video and after the backlash, the Brony Fandont account stood by the accuser. They also signal boosted other people who claim to support the accuser's story, Amy and Jessa. Of course, none of these are very public individuals, and the most public of them all, KP, dealt with a much more public backlash than Saberspark. A good deal of the general public was very skeptical of the allegations, which they probably should be. KP provided no hard evidence this actually happened. Others, however, crossed the line into legitimate harassment of the accusers, which you should not do. Even if you believe that these are liars of the vendetta, harassment does not benefit anyone. The general consensus on the internet at this point, though, is that allegations with no evidence does not have to be addressed at all. Because could you imagine if we were stepping up with everything that every rando says about us? As you might imagine, crazy people saying things about people is a very real thing that happens. A lot. More than you might initially expect. A good deal of the people...
Oh, I am gonna crash out. I am gonna crash out. Obviously, he had to respond to this. For real? Obviously, he had to fucking respond to this. These are like legitimate allegations that somebody made.
Commenting on this seem to believe that Saberspark had no real reason to respond at all. Maybe I'm painting things as more black and white than they really were, because a lot of people did jump on the allegations, and many people did unsubscribe from Saberspark's channel, as he pointed out in his response video. Whatever the reason, it exists, let's take a look at it. It's one of the very few times he's been live on camera on his channel, a camera that he does not seem to know how to use properly. Is this like a fisheye lens, a wide angle?
This is, hello, Sneeko streams like this. This is in right now, okay? The fisheye lens is in right now. This is how Sneeko streams, okay? This is the Sneeko setup. This is in right now. Shut up, Mr. Editor.
For a close-up shot, the framing is very bad.
Show face, post hands!
Anyway, this is largely standard for a YouTube addressing controversy video. And keep in mind when I say that, standard is bad. At the very least, it's not a ukulele video. I can assume that he showed it to a lawyer before putting it up.
Well, yeah, Sai, where are you, Sai? I saw this earlier on Twitter. You posted this where, it's like, what is it? Oh fuck, what is it called? Oh my god, I'm having a stroke. It was earlier where it was like about the burden of proof. Thank you. Oh my god, it came to me. The burden of proof. You raped. No, I didn't. Prove it. How do I prove a negative? What? It's on you to prove that Saber Spark raped. You need to prove that he's a rapist. You can't just say, oh, you raped, and he's like, no, I didn't. It's like, oh, well, there's no proof. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. That's not what the burden of proof is. You don't prove a negative. If you're making the claim, you have to provide evidence. What?
With the most major allegation, Saberspark simply says that it didn't happen.
To be clear, the accusation that I sexually assaulted someone is completely false, and I feel disgusted that I even have to say that. I've had sexual partners before in the past, but we've always abided by enthusiastic and reciprocated consent.
Which, fair enough, KP and company didn't provide any evidence themselves. But the video goes on and on.
I too am haunted by the ghost of 9/11. I completely agree.
Like it's KP and Brony Fandont directly making this claim entirely on their own. Like, if anyone made up this claim, it was those two making it up. Like, the accuser doesn't exist as a person at all. Which they are. They are a real person who is not KP or either of the users of the Brony Fandont account. I want to be clear about that immediately. In my own personal opinion, the response video was focused on one thing and one thing only.
Slug Entertainment's interview with her seems to demonstrate her malicious intent. And from the context of her video, it looks like it was done with...
Oh yeah, what does Bert have to disprove a bunch of shit that you heard secondhand? Have you heard the burden of proof? Yeah, and the proof is is that you have to prove what you're claiming, dumbass. To be a debate bro, and to be bad at it, amazing.
the desire to use this drama to boost her channel's popularity.
In order to sue someone for defamation when you're a public figure, the defamatory statement must be false, must have caused actual damages, and here's the...
I mean, it is false, because if you can't prove it, it's false. You could say, well, you can't prove that it's false that I say that Malcolm isn't Hitler. Never seen Malcolm and Hitler together in the same room.
The kicker, which makes it really hard to sue someone for defamation when you're a public individual. You have to prove actual malice, or barring that, a damaging level of negligence. Saberspark's response video seems to set up that case, sometimes going as far as just...
The dishonest clipping, I feel like, is enough to demonstrate actual malice. No, I'm not a lawyer, whatever. I don't know. I just think that we're sweeping for no reason here. It's like, well, technically speaking, it's like, dude, obviously she was malicious in the creation of this. Obviously there was malice, okay? Malice of foresight, or whatever the fuck. Obviously...
straddling the line like it's an outright checklist. Of course, the video does other minor things as well.
They seem to see themselves as judge, jury, and executioner, and launch vicious harassment campaigns against multiple online creators, such as Billy Bustup, Prince Whatever, and Black Griffin.
So, the tweet that Saberspark points to, for example, of Brony Fandont harassing Black Griffin, is a link to a Google document. Now, Bunk, one of the users of the Brony Fandont account, does not claim to have written the document. As far as I can tell, the Brony Fandont account is only a contributor. There were multiple contributors. If you believe them or not, that's up to you. But if you've noticed Bunk's pattern of writing, or even Sophie's pattern of writing on Twitter or other locations, you could probably easily see the difference in terms of writing. So, am I harassing DA Games by putting the Google document against them that was not written by me in my description?
Guzmán donatet $2 truc superchat. Malice in Blundarland.
Well, it was quite obviously just like content soup. It's like, I want to get as many clicks and engagement on this video as fucking humanly possible, so I'm just going to include everybody and their mom. There was even a fucking segment of Lily Orchard.
Isaki Kentai donatet $1.99 truc superchat. Sai silis luz baby si assure.
That's beautiful. I should get that as a tattoo. That's amazing. Thank you, Izaki, for the $1.99. Everybody witnessed. What a beautiful haiku. Like, there wasn't a person that was not included in that video. I'm surprised that she didn't fucking put Onision in that video. Does anybody, I don't know if anybody can do this. I know that you can do it on your own YouTube videos. Can anybody see the tags on that video? Can anybody go and see if, like, Onision was tagged, if Chris Hansen was tagged? Like, because if I'm making a video and there's, you know, like, Chris Chan, Onision, whatever the fuck, like, you put that in the tags if that person is mentioned in the video, but she could just be throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. That's kind of the vibe that I got from the whole thing. I don't know. I don't know if anybody can see that, but that would be my guess, is that, you know, anybody who's ever been anybody at any point, at any time, like Nick Rikita is probably fucking mentioned in the tags of that video, I'm sure.
I'm not saying that Bunk does not harass Black Griffin, because he does have a reputation of harassing people. I'm saying that linking to a Google document, not written by him, does not constitute harassment.
Brony Fandont has on multiple occasions used falsifiable information to attack people with.
Okay, this might be a nitpick, but I think that it's important to bring up because both KP and Saberspark have misused this word, and it is possible to misuse this word to try and pull a fast one.
Call
False
me a
is not a synonym
river.
of falsifiable. False means that something is not true. Falsifiable means that it can be proven false, technically speaking. That doesn't mean that it will
Wow,
be. Every
very
statement
cool.
of fact, by definition, is falsifiable. The sky is blue
wow.
is a falsifiable statement. If the sky is
Wow,
not blue,
cool.
the statement has been falsified. False and
Wow,
falsifiable
I'm glad we're talking
do not
about
mean
this.
the same thing. Saying falsifiable can mean that the audience hears the word false when the statement may not be false at all. I want to be clear, I'm not saying that Saberspark or even KP was intentionally doing this. It may have been a legitimate mistake.
According to KP's post, Brony Fandont was in her Discord server, and according to this person, they were allegedly friends.
According to Damien Wolf, Damien in the Dark, the smoking gun. Twitter rando says they're besties. This is our standard of evidence, okay.
I have been on Twitter since
Bro, that's like the whole fucking allegation. What are you talking about? This is the standard of evidence for the entire fucking thing. Like, just for a second, okay? Put yourself in Saber Spark's shoes. Imagine that, like, 15 fucking years ago, you went to a convention, and he doesn't even admit that it happened. He doesn't even admit that it happened, but just pretend for 1 second, you went to a fucking convention, like, 15 years ago, and you hooked up with some girl, and then out of fucking nowhere, they're like, rape! Would you also not just be like, honestly, like, fuck you guys, this is a joke? Would you not, like, would anybody be like, oh well, it's just the way the cookie crumbles. Oh, back to regular posted content. No, you'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? You guys are fucking insane. Hello?
since 2012. But in early 2020, I noticed that the culture of the website had begun to change. It was more combative and antagonistic.
The Justine Sacco controversy happened in 2013.
And the website started to reward that kind of engagement.
Yeah, in like 2015. You were late to the party is what I'm saying. By the way, Blue Sky will join that party before too long. That kind of behavior is baked into the format of short-form blogging. It's inevitable.
These aren't individuals who care about the well-being of victims, but only engagement and exploitative content.
So, funny story. This is not the first draft of this video. I wrote a first draft where I was a whole lot harsher and quite mean, to KP especially. It is very easy to assume that she made her video based on a vendetta against Saberspark.
She obviously did.
That it's probably the easiest conclusion that you can come.
Is everybody just like terminally autistic? Is everybody just terminally autistic? You can listen to the way that she talks about him in voice calls that she doesn't think are being recorded. Hello? Anybody? Where she's like, he's just mad because, I wouldn't let him hit it. He didn't even know you were alive! What do you mean? He just has this evil vendetta against me because, like, he wanted to fuck. Like, even in the call with Chris, she was like, oh, well, he's just mad because I wouldn't let him hit it. Did you do this just because you had a crush on me? Hello? Her entire persona is just vitriolic, dripping, like, spite-fueled hate for anyone who has a modicum of success more than her. What? What? Mr. Enter! God, fuck. It's fine. I'm fine.
And the things that she has done after the release of the video, which we will talk about, don't give her the best look. But we don't really know her full intentions. We can make speculations, but we probably shouldn't do that.
Seska, we should go on Dr. Phil together. We should make up like an elaborate ruse and you and I can go on Dr. Phil together. Like, we have a transgender puppycule harem. Ooh, we should do that. We should go on Dr. Phil and do that. That'd be pretty fucking funny. I think we should do that. Good idea. Write that down.
As for Brony Fandont, Bonk specifically, after the video got immense backlash, he did throw KP under the bus.
Intiretuf pepera shitting on bonk and not kapetu.
Double witness, guys. Thank you very much. And I don't know what the fuck it is. I think, I gotta be honest with you, I can't think of another reason why. I think it's female privilege, okay? And I know everybody is grabbing their pearls. They're like, oh my god, Malcolm, oh my god, how could you in Pride Month? Just listen to me for 1 fucking second, okay? For 1 fucking second, alright? You have the only adult human female that's into My Little Pony. That comes with an ego. You know it does. Don't roll your eyes at me. Don't click the thumbs down button on the video. You know that I'm fucking right, okay? It is female privilege. Everyone's like, oh, she was just a dumb fucking bimbo. She was just a stupid bitch. She was probably on her period. She probably hadn't changed her tampon in a week. It was probably toxic shock syndrome. No, she knew what she was doing. She is an evil, manipulative little bitch, and she's been doing it the whole time in front of fucking everyone. Hello? Oh, I had no idea that I would get in trouble for rape allegations. Oh, I had no idea that I couldn't help write the rape allegation. I had no idea, guys. I had no idea. What did you say in the interview with Beckett? She was like, I was really surprised. By what? The video that you were working on? Brony Fandont is very obviously mentally ill, okay? Brony Fandont very obviously has 1 foot in the fucking loony bin almost every day of the week, okay? Brony Fandont has his own shit going on, okay? KP knows exactly what the fuck she's doing. KP is almost 40 years old. She's been around on the internet long enough. She knows exactly what she's doing. Stop giving her grace. She's not even that hot. Okay? I could understand if, like, Blake Lively was like, oh, I'm just a girl. I fucked up. I'd be like, you sure did, Beyonce. Who cares? What's one rape allegation? Somebody has to stop white women. Somebody has to stop them. Okay? At all costs, we have to stop white women. Okay? Brony Fandont is obviously unwell. If anything, you guys should be giving more grace to Brony Fandont because Brony Fandont literally tried to like live stream their suicide attempt. Whether or not they were faking, you have to be pretty fucking mentally ill to fake a suicide attempt, okay? Either way, this person is fucked in the head, okay? And everybody's being super mean to Brony Fandont. Be super mean to KP. KP is about to get her fucking senior citizen discount at Denny's. Okay, she knows what she's doing. All right?
However, at no point did he ever state that the accuser was lying. He didn't even shield his language with allegedly, and he got into fights with people who didn't outright believe the accuser. On top of that, Bonk is clearly mentally unwell. I don't really think we can know his full intentions.
In regards to my channel, we have lost nearly tens of thousands of subscribers since the release of their video.
According to Social Blade, Saber Spark started losing subscribers on April
Big mistake. Don't use Social Blade. Social Blade isn't 100% accurate. Saberspark literally showed his analytics. I'm going to believe that over whatever Social Blade says. 100%. This is getting in the weeds over no fucking reason. The reason that Saberspark is bringing this up is because in order to go after somebody for slander or libel, you have to be able to prove damages. And loss of, followers, subscribers, a hit to somebody's reputation counts as damages in this sense. I'm not going to trust Social Blade because Social Blade is not accurate. Okay, I can look on Social Blade right now and it says, untrue things about the metrics of my channel. Okay, like if I go, I can't do it, you guys, because every time I open Social Blade, my computer is the VIP at Auschwitz. Okay, I don't know what happens whenever I open fucking Social Blade. My computer like shits the bed. But Social Blade says that I make like $500 a year on YouTube. That's not correct. I know that's not correct. So take anything from Social Blade with a grain of salt. Usually, give or take hefty amounts. I would believe somebody's own analytics, like Saberspark is showing his analytics on screen. I will believe that over Social Blade anytime.
28th, days before the actual video came out. Look at the very screenshot that he shows. You see those bumps before the first? Those are all dips below.
But so like these are dips. This is an obvious loss. This is like an obvious loss. Hello? Like this is like a natural ebb and flow of content. This is a significant loss. There's a difference here.
0. Saberspark was losing subscribers before KP's video came out. Not as many, but there was still subscribers.
Well, obviously, yeah! Oh my god. Literally, Mr. Enter, how many subscribers does Mr. Enter have? 254,000. He knows better than this. This is a normal ebb and flow of content. This is normal. This is not. This is not a normal loss of subscribers. That's not what this is. Come on, dude. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god. Please, you guys, stop. Stop! Oh my god. We're just jerking off thousands of phantom dicks. This is so dumb.
0. Saberspark was losing subscribers before KP's video came out. Not as many, but there was still subscriber loss. It might be a little bit harder than that for him to prove damages in court. I'm not a lawyer, I'm just saying. Especially since loss of subscribers isn't the same thing as financial harm, with how YouTube itself keeps de-emphasizing subscribers as an important metric. And let's not forget something very important. Saberspark himself put retirement on the horizon in the month of April. That is going to lead to subscriber loss by default. You would also have to...
Not a huge loss of like several hundred subscribers in one... You fucking idiot. You fucking little idiots. You fucking little bitches. You fucking little dumb bitches. Oh my god. You have 255,000 subscribers on YouTube. I know you know how it works. I know you know how it works. Oh, guys, I think I'm going to go on a hiatus. Whoop! There goes 5,000 subscribers. Liar. Liar. You turned her against me.
Detach that subscriber loss from other factors, which may be a little bit harder to do than Saberspark expects. Like I said, this whole thing reads as the first step in a lawsuit, and it is my personal belief that Saberspark will at least attempt to sue Brony Fandont and KP. The obvious question is, can he? Well, I mean, in the United States, you can generally sue anyone for anything. You could take your grandmother to small claims court because you got you the wrong McDonald's order. The better question is...
Dude, no one tells Xander Hall that. His mom is cooked. His mom would not buy him weed pens. Dude, Xander Hall's mom is so fucked. Why would you say that, Mr. Enter?
he win. Once again, I'm not a lawyer, but I believe that it'd be hard to argue damages, due to Saberspark's other controversies, and the fact that KP's video is almost universally reviled. Brony Fandont and Rachel don't exactly have a good reputation at the moment, and I believe that anyone primed to believe the worst in Saberspark because of such a spectacle probably would have came to that conclusion via other means. And if we're talking reputation, it would probably be a bad idea to go after Bonk specifically. I don't know how to put this delicately, but the man has problems. After a bunch of background stuff and harassment, Bonk appeared to stream an attempt on his own life. First on Twitch, but when the Twitch account got banned, he tried doing it again on Twitter. He did not succeed, he was found beforehand, and according to Sophie, he was checked into a hospital afterwards. A lot of people suspect that this was a stunt, that it was, faked. In my own personal opinion, the distinction is irrelevant, because whether you're seriously doing it, or you're only pretending to do it.
Well, I mean, the distinction is relevant only because what kind of person would fake their suicide to get out of accountability for something? Somebody who knows that they did something wrong. Like, obviously, yes, I think that there has to be something wrong with you in general if you think that faking your suicide is an appropriate get out of jail free card. Obviously, there's like a screw or two loose, obviously. But I would say that there's like a significant difference between like, oh my god, there's no way out, I see the light, it's time for me to go, goodbye, versus like, oh my god, everybody wants me to apologize, I know! Like, I think that those are a little bit different. Those are a little bit different, right?
Do it, neither of which showcases a very healthy mindset. As for KP, I will say that if the lawsuit is on the table, she is making some of the worst possible decisions in the aftermath of the video. I can see the temptation to go on interviews and get your side of the story out there, but I cannot possibly fathom any reason why Rachel would go on an interview with Slug Entertainment, also known as Angry Slug.
Because she's fucking stupid. Okay, I'll be more charitable than that. I'm so sorry. I can be better than that. It's not that she's stupid, it's that she thinks that she can talk herself out of trouble. You know how, like, pretend that you have a test coming up, okay? PTSD flashback, you're like in high school again, okay? And you have a test coming up. And you're like, holy fuck, I didn't study. Dude, this sucks. I'm so fucked right now. I didn't study. There's no fucking shot, dude. Like, it doesn't matter what the test is on. I'm fucked. I don't know any of this material. And you sit down to take the test, and you're just like, oh my god, I can't wait to get home and get my fucking ass beat because I'm going to fail this test. This sucks. And then the teacher hands you a short answer test. And you breathe the biggest sigh of relief. You're like, oh my god, thank you, Jesus. Because what does a short answer mean? That means that you can ramble and eventually you'll write down something that's kind of right, so you'll get at least half a point, right? That she thinks that the more interviews that she does, eventually she'll say something and everybody's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Eventually she'll say something right. If she talks enough, something will hit. Okay? If you throw enough shit at the wall, something will stick to it. That's her plan. That's her strategy, okay?
That's the former editor of Mama Max. Yes, Predator Hunter Mama Max. The one who was canceled last year for turning real-world cases into a Hotline Miami ARG, among other things. He has about 7,000 subscribers. Why would you even do this? What's your angle? Going on an interview at all when defamation is on the table is a bad idea.
So she can gesture vaguely and say, I did give a statement, you guys, even though it was, for somebody who has, like, less than, like 10k subs. Why not do this on June the King's channel? Has June the King said anything about this? Anybody? Has anybody asked June the King and been like, yo, can you believe that I Love KP a lot used your likeness to like totally fucking biff rape allegations? June the King, any comment? Has June the King said anything about this? Please say yes.
Carl Chops learned the hard way with his case against Billy Mitchell. Also, outright threatening the accuser is not a good look either.
Okay, I mean, I'll be honest. From my understanding, you shared a Dropbox file with Lazy, and your fucking name was on it. I don't know if you're aware of that, but that's direct confirmation. So I'm at the point where my reputation is on the line.
Is in the toilet. Oh, on the line. Yeah, that's what I was going to say too.
Because of you. And I feel like
because
an
of
idiot
yourself.
Because of you.
Because of you.
And you can help me clean up this mess and get in a call and tell your side of the story, or this is going to blow up in your face. Because people have already figured out it's you based on that mistake. And I'm fucking tired, because the things that have been pointed out to me is that you have your own platform. You knew going in that people were going to figure it out. Maybe not this quickly, maybe not by your own mistake, but they did.
Say what you want. The reason that Emmy went to somebody else is because she has baggage attached to her name. And you can, there's no perfect victim, rah, rah, rah. But when your rape allegation is, he said, she said from literally 15 fucking years ago, yeah, your reputation actually means quite a bit. It does, unfortunately, right? And I gotta be so honest with you. Like, there's two scenarios. The first scenario, and I've said this a million times, and I'm gonna say it 1,000,001 more, okay? There's two scenarios here. Scenario one, Saberspark did rape, and nothing is gonna happen because KP fucked this up so bad. Second, option here is that Saberspark didn't rape, and KP somehow tricked this girl or, mind fucked this girl into being like, no, this totally counts as a rape allegation. You should totally come forward with this. It'll look really good in my YouTube hit piece. Either way, KP she has a vested interest. She has a stake in, she is a shareholder in the belief that this girl was raped by Saberspark, and this is how she's going to talk to her. At the very least, that's enough to burn your reputation to the ground for the rest of your life. Ad infinitum, right? I believe I'm staking my reputation on the fact that this girl was raped. I'm going to threaten her in DMs over a voice message. The raped. I am the terrorist. I will terrorize the raped. That's me. KP, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Good. And you can be an adult and help me clean up this mess. Or you can be a coward. I'm not yelling at you. I'm not telling you what to do. But you've put people that are in the video in a very difficult and dangerous position. And I don't think you really understand that.
I don't think you understand that.
And so I'm at the point where I talk to this guy, Beckett, and he says that you have the chance right now to tell your side of the story in a call with me or with Lazy or with him or with someone, or people are going to villainize you.
Wow.
And that's where we're at. And none of the things that have been pointed out to me doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and doesn't make any sense, guys.
The timeline is questionable. The only people that vouched for you were Brony and Amy and Sophie, and Amy won't even fucking...
Also, something that was mentioned in Beckett's video, and again, I did go hard on Beckett, I know. Whatever. Crucify me. You guys know how I feel about white people. It is true that in the past, when Bonk brought allegations to KP, KP was like, I don't know if there's enough for me to go off of on this. I don't think I'm going to do anything with it just because I don't know if there's enough here. The second that Bonk presented potential allegations against Saberspark, fucking KP's eyes lit up, okay? She was like, go gadget, rape discourse, let's fucking go. Like, this was her Roman Empire. She was like, I've been waiting for this day. I've been waiting for somebody to be raped by Saberspark. Like, that's literally what our response is. So, the only person that was vouching for you was Brony Fandont. Okay, it was obviously enough for you that Brony Fandont was the one that brought them up to you. Like, shut the fuck up, bitch. Shut the fuck up.
Fucking talk to me. So, I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm being real with you. It's fucked. You're fucked. One way or the other.
I'm just keeping it real, girl.
So, make a decision soon, or I will publicly confirm it was you.
Yeah.
You have 24 hours.
You have 24 hours, get raped. That's basically like the end of the message. If you weren't raped, you will be. If you don't come out and confirm that it was you, if you weren't raped, you will be. KP, what the fuck, dude? Wow, what the actual fuck?
If I had to guess, and this is only a guess, if Saberspark tries to sue anyone, I'd imagine the strategy would be to get them to settle out of court, because KP does have one major defense. KP's major claim is that Saberspark didn't fire aficionados Chris, despite having every reason to. And as far as I'm aware, Chris is still on Saberspark's team. There is the sexual assault allegation.
Horror.
That is the most damaging of all statements. But that allegation did not originate from either KP or Bonk or Sophie. When the allegation does come from an actual person that actually exists. Let's talk about them. Chapter 2. Old Friends, New Enemies. Saberspark was not the first person from his camp to make a comment about the situation. This is Casey. She is Saberspark's editor's wife, and she posted a tweet longer.
Saberspark's editor's wife. Oh my god, this is Casey Fish. She's the one that drug fucking KP to hell and back. Let's go. We like her.
On the 7th of May. Whatever was going on behind the scenes, these two seem to be operating at entirely different frequencies, because it's a completely different attitude than Saberspark's response. Keep in mind that this is to I Love Kim Possible a lot, and not to or about the accuser directly. A lot of this does read as pointless drama and insider information. I will say that the phrase Cool Kids Club comes up a lot in other places, not good places, like places where the C's are replaced with K because that's a quote-unquote joke. It's a phrase that you shouldn't use. Speaking.
Can somebody explain this to me? Is this a KKK reference? Cool Kids Club? Is that a KKK reference? What is it? What does the KKK have to do with this, you guys? Oh, because some white bitch makes a mistake. It must be the Klan's fault. What's going on? What? Why? Why is the KKK here? What? Why? What? Guys, what's happening?
Speaking of phrasing, she was also asked about Black Griffin, to which she wrote this. The phrase my truth is also something that you should never ever say. At best, it makes you
based. There's no such thing as my truth. There's only the truth. My truth is that vaccines cause autism. That's my truth. No, bitch, you're delusional. I'm gonna live my truth.
To sound willfully delusional, there is no quote-unquote my truth, there is only the truth. Now, this statement here, at the time that this was written, KP may have removed the video, but she did not publicly recant the allegation. Her tweet the following day called Saber Spark's accuser a victim without shielding the language with allegedly. The only thing that I found that could be considered close to a recantation was KP's voice message to the
sorry. Allegedly, vaccines cause autism. Sorry, allegedly, my bad.
Accuser, which was said in private and made
YouTube, I'm joking, please. YouTube, I'm kidding. I don't believe that. YouTube, please.
Afterwards. But beyond that, Casey says some fairly egregious things about the accuser. She states that the accuser has victims, that the accuser committed a crime in her own guest room, and a simple Google search of quote-unquote her name drama could have told you everything that she has done that is of public knowledge. Of course, Casey never reveals what that name is, and that's one of the biggest mysteries of the whole ordeal. Like, if you really think that this person did X, Y, and Z, and you're clearly not caring about the consequences here, since I doubt Saber Spark wanted a statement like this public, why not just out the person? The most logical answer is that this is all made up and Casey is talking out of her ass, but like, no, the accuser also claims that she used to know Casey, know her enough to go to Disney together in
It's probably because she doesn't want to be, like, dragged into the bullshit, I would imagine. Like, I don't know, being cryptic is, like, Gen X's favorite pastime. I don't really put, like, a ton of stock into that, right? Like, Gen X really enjoys being cryptic. That's just, like, an old people thing. I'm not, like, really shocked about this. I don't know. Like, I don't know what to say.
2014. And for the record, no.
Great question. Great question. Does Enter know about the Sonichu medallion? And also, I want to know, did anyone involved in this touch the medallion? Has anyone here been gifted a medallion? These are really important questions, okay? Because if KP was gifted a medallion by Chris Chan, everything would make sense. We could close out this video. We could say, we got it. We're all done. Good talk, guys. I totally understand. That's all she wrote. Okay. These are the questions that I really want the answer to. Is there a medallion involved? Who has touched the medallion? Like, that's really it. That's all we need to know. No one is asking the right questions here. Okay?
No one I've spoken to seems to know the context of the alleged crime in the guest room either. I could speculate as to why Casey didn't just out the accuser outright, but we're probably never going to know the real reason. What I do know is that this seemed to be the impetus of people looking further into the accuser who wanted to stay anonymous. Brony Fandont signal boosted every single person who publicly said that they knew the accuser and defended their story. Redditors used this to see who they were all mutually following. Then they went into the past looking at tweets of not just Saberspark, but who they thought was the dead ringer. And then they created a Google document and released it publicly. I want to be clear, no one on my investigation team had anything to do with this, at least unless someone went behind my back. And
she does have fan art, but it's not the same thing as the medallion. The medallion is a unique evil. The medallion has a unique power. Because there are plenty of people who have had art made of them by Chris Chan that have been unscathed by the power of the medallion. It has to be the medallion specifically. And it has to be one of the original 100 and, what is it, the first, I think it was 199 that were made. It has to be one of the first batches. And it has to be before Chris Chan went by Christine. They have to be made by Christian Weston Chandler. They cannot be made by Christine Weston Chandler. There's very specific criteria that allow the Sonichu medallions to have their power. It's very specific. It's very specific, and if it's not specific enough, it doesn't count, okay? It has to be a very specific medallion. And nobody has been asking these questions. These are the important ones, okay? Everybody write that down.
I trust all of these guys with my life, so I'm saying that they didn't do it. I also do not think that it was KP or anyone assisting her, because KP knew...
How many were originally made? Because I know that there were like 100 and... how many Sonichu medallions are there? But they can't be the Christine Weston Chandler ones. They have to be Christian Weston Chandler. They have to be pre-transition. And they have to be made of Crayola model magic. They can't be made out of clay. They have to be made out of model magic. The real ones are made out of model magic. I think there's only 6 original medallions. Yeah, there's only 6 original medallions. Well, 2 of them were destroyed. So there's only 4 original medallions still in circulation. They have to be pre-2010. There's very specific criteria for the medallions to hold power. It's a thing.
At least the name of this person from the very beginning. My team and I were speaking to the accuser's alt, first through Twitter and then through Discord. And the first question that I ever asked them was, what questions shouldn't I ask? And the only thing I wasn't allowed to ask was about their identity, and so I didn't. Of course, being anonymous is more than just not saying your name. It's actually a lot more difficult than you might think. The accuser gave us her first name, Emily, and a bunch of other small pieces of information that couldn't be used to directly identify them out of context. However, there was a vlog clip that was too big to send via Discord, so they used a Dropbox. And that Dropbox had their last name on it. Now, this person has a common first and last name, so it could have just been a coincidence. But we had her speculation, and the other seemingly...
Every time I watch shit like this, I have to ask, like, am I the only person that still has anxiety? Like, I check every email that I ever send, I check it like 92 times to make sure I don't write like "kill yourself, bitch" in the email. Like I'm like responding to like the CEO of Microsoft for like a job interview, and I have to read it like 7 times. I'm like, did I say "kill yourself, bitch" in here? Did I say that? And then after I send it, I have to read it again to make sure that I didn't say "kill yourself, bitch." Like, does nobody else have anxiety anymore? Nobody like quadruple checks this shit. They're just like, fuck it. I sent this email to a content creator about my fake rape allegation with my fucking social in it. Like, does nobody have anxiety anymore?
Relevant details all proved accurate to who this person was speculated to be. I will state up front, I was given express permission to reveal who this person was. And I was given this permission after KP threatened them, after Bonk's apparent breakdown, as well as me having questions with their overall testimony. So, we'll talk about them so we're all on the same page. So, as many people speculated, the person in question is Emily Jones, also known as Emu Emmy. If that name sounds familiar, it's because she's been on the platform longer than I have. She's an influencer with over 100,000 subscribers, prominent in the My Little Pony community, obviously, and later the Sonic community. She's mostly known for singing, voice acting, and Sonic and Tails R. It was a bit of a revelation to me that I was actually familiar with some of her work. When we found out who she was, we decided to do a background check, and Lazy Bedhead spent like
Yeah, that's actually my email signature is "kill yourself, bitch. I hope that you die." And then it's like my full legal name, my address, my social security number, my credit card number with the PIN, like the safety PIN, and then my mother's maiden name, my childhood best friend, you know, the model of my first car, like every security question you could ever dream of. That's my email signature.
FLY22 donatet $2 truc superchat. Bàsic pretransition crayola medallon number 2?
Good question. I'm not sure. I did find one on eBay. I found a medallion on eBay. It's number 157, I think. But here's the thing. There's 2 really important things, okay? If I am to acquire a Sonichu medallion, 1, it needs to be one of the original 6, okay? I don't, you know, we're going to commit to the bit. It needs to be one of the original 6 for starters. Second of all, if I do come in contact with a Sonichu medallion, I'm leaning into it, okay? I'm not going to fight it. I want to amplify the powers of the medallion to make sure that I'm testing it correctly, right? Like, I'm probably going to just, like, start doing meth recreationally. Just, you know, to amplify the powers of the medallion. I really wanted to kick into overdrive. You know what I mean? I'm going to start making bad choices in, like, along with the medallion while it's in my possession because I really, really want to see what it can do. You know what I mean? If it can ruin Nick Rakita's life, like on accident, what can it do on purpose? It's a really important question, okay? But I'm not at a point in my life right now where I can do that, right? Like I'm not at the point in my life where I can go on like a 3-year bender to test the powers of the Sonichu medallion. You know, if you guys would have caught me, you know, a couple of years ago, maybe. But at this point in my life, I'm not able to dedicate myself to the power of the medallion, which is what I would do if given the opportunity to touch one. You know what I mean? I've thought about it a lot.
Like 2 days looking up who she was. There is plenty of information about Emu Emmy online, and one thing that both Lazy and KP found was a video documentary here that talked about
You're thinking of Himpleton. Don't smoke in bed. You're thinking of Himpleton.
a whole wide array of things. There was also, ironically enough, a Google Dropbox with more information. The information does paint her as crazy, like over-the-top crazy, from small things like working with Animated James or Mondo Pony before their constellations, to much more out-there events, like having an affair with Ryan Drummond, voice of Sonic in several games, not paying Mike Pollock, voice of Eggman, for voice acting work.
Please tell me that Mr. Enter mentions that he does the Sonic voice while they were fucking. That's like the best part. That's the best part. Not only did you home wreck with the voice actor for Sonic, you made him do the Sonic voice while you were fucking. That's the best part.
And a long-standing feud with a brain cancer survivor named Lizzie. It was roughly at this time, KP also seemed to be doing research into who this...
I'm pretty sure Himpleton was in the public park with the medallion. I'm almost positive. Where's DZ? DZ will know. DZ, it was Himpleton, right, that had the Sonichu medallion at the park?
Person actually was. This was in spite of her not talking to an alt the entire time, and actually talking with the Emu Emmy Discord account from the very beginning. To make sure the KP was on the same page with us, we did have several calls with her. We tried to keep her in the loop. The threat that leaked out probably proves that that wasn't the smartest decision on our end. By the way, if Emily is to be believed, Bonk released that without even her permission. As you probably already noticed, a big issue behind the scenes was that everyone seemed to be acting incredibly irrationally, acting on impulse, or not really thinking through their actions. It was enough trying to get to the bottom of things without someone doing something incredibly inadvisable every other day. My team and I had 3 separate talks with Emily, directly about her own controversies. The first was with Lazy Bedhead alone. The second was with her, myself, and Phineas. We wanted to get her side of the story on her controversies. Just us figuring out what the hell was going on, and as the discussion went on, she provided plenty of receipts. It would take an Atlas effort to verify each and...
I fucking hate TikTok because, like, now I'm unironically saying what the helly. I really didn't want to, but I started saying it, now I can't stop. I'm like, what the helly? And it makes me really upset. It makes me really sad, guys. I'm sorry.
every single one of them. But some of them did hold up to immediate scrutiny. Mike Pollock, for instance, wrote a full-on message about his part in this story. The third conversation was a full-on interview for all of your viewing pleasure, which I will link in the description. If you want to hear Emily's side of the story directly on any and all of her controversies, it's important for you to see that. But that discussion is 3.5 hours long on something that's technically only tangentially related to the matters at hand. To be as forward as I can, most of the interview is directly about the things that Emily Jones herself has been accused of from various, I'll be quite frank, unsavory places. That's the first 2.5 hours of the interview. It's timestamped, so if you have a specific question or issue, you can go to a specific timestamp. The last hour of that interview is about some of the more basic questions that everyone was asking Emily. Why now of all times? Why go to KP specifically? What's your thoughts on Saber Spark's response video? So on. And hearing Emily talk about those in her own words. Now, I want to be as fair as I possibly can. I'll put everything on the table. The goal during these interviews wasn't to question or push back on Emily's statements, and so we didn't. We did that in text and behind the scenes, but not while on the record. We did have a sit-down discussion with her about her own controversies. And I mean, to be fair, speaking about pushing back on Emily's statements in this interview, it's like, what am I supposed to say? Emily was talking about her personal experiences. Like, I could say that it's trying to bait sympathy, but I'm not interested in doing that. That's up to your own interpretation. Saber Spark's response was very fact-oriented, and facts can be very easily critiqued. And it's not like I'm letting Emily's statements go through unfiltered and unfocused, because I am going to have plenty of things to say about the written testimony, the initial allegation. But I will state up front, I am interested in being as fair as possible to all parties involved. And I will state that I did pick apart Saber Spark's response video on the matter. You've already seen that. And
how about can we get a video picking apart Kim Possible? Can we get a video picking apart the fucking allegations from Obama's first term as president? Can we get any like actual tearing down the bullshit? Like, I totally get it, okay? Everybody fucking hates Saber Spark. I get it, okay? Saber Spark sucks. You guys convinced me, okay? Like, whatever. I don't care that nobody likes this guy. I don't care that everybody's mad at this guy about this video, about this take, about his My Little Pony, whatever the fuck. I don't care. I don't care. That doesn't mean that we just accuse him of rape because we don't like him. Why are we not torturing these people's allegations to death? Why are we torturing him to death? Why does Saber Spark look like the most well-behaved in this entire controversy? I don't understand. Where is the 4-hour fucking video tearing apart Emmy Emu, like, fucking her way to the top as a voice actor? Where's that video? This is insane. This is like the 5th fucking video being like, Saber Spark might rape. It's like, we get it. You broke it down. Let's go in on someone else, please.
And during this interview, I don't critique or interject or anything like that. So I would keep that in mind, and I would recommend watching Emily's statements with just as much a grain of salt as I had watching Saber Spark's. If something sounds strange or odd, remember that it's fair to feel that way. Do your own research in the end if something does feel strange or odd. Remember, even though I have a team, our collective knowledge can be
yeah, I want a 4-hour expose calling Emu Emmy a whore. That's what I want. That's what I want, okay? Everybody's like, oh my god, everybody there's no such thing, believe victims, women stay winning, this is the era of Me Too, whatever the fuck. Saber Spark, arguably, we don't even know if he did fucking anything. But we're just gonna torture this man to death over what? I'm over it. I've had enough.
Two members whose entire life is Sonic.
Yes, she is a whore and a trollop.
And yet, at the same time...
a heretic! Okay, I don't care what situation you put me in. If there is somebody who fucked the voice actor for Sonic and made them do the Sonic voice while they were fucking, that person is the enemy, okay? I'm joining the war against the rape on the side of the person who told the Sonic voice actor to do the Sonic voice while they were fucking. That person is always the enemy. Always, okay? That person is on my shit list, okay? I don't care who it is. I don't care who did it. When, what, why, where, okay? The person that made the Sonic voice actor do the Sonic voice while they were fucking is the one that I am against in this scenario, okay? I already have my lines, my teams drawn and quartered. I'm ready, okay?
They had never even heard of Emily Jones, who is allegedly infamous within the Sonic community. The goal here is to give all parties a fair shake. Emily, Saber Spark, everyone. And I expect all of you to want to do the same. For the sake of argument, let's pretend that she was bullshitting all of us for 7 hours, and that everything in every dubious documentary is gold standard truth. Terrible things can happen to terrible people. Crazy shit can happen to crazy people. Of course, when terrible or crazy people tell us stories, we should take them with mountains of salt. But controversies alone do not mean that the allegation couldn't have happened. However, it would be irresponsible of me to not mention that many of the controversies, true or not, are sex scandals. Maybe I'm naive, but in the direct discussions that I've had with Emily on voice call, she sounded genuine. And for what it's worth, this is not the first time that she's told the story about Saberspark. She was able to dig up some messages from years and years ago. Unfortunately, much of the digital data...
Malcolm, what if you found out your wife did it in the past? What would you do then? I guess I wouldn't have a wife anymore. Dude, why would you hit me with that? What would I do? What would I do? I have something to tell you. I fucked the guy who plays the voice of Sonic and I made him do the Sonic voice. It's not even like... I guess it would be different if they were fucking and he did the Sonic voice because he liked it, but she asked for it. That's totally different. That's totally different. Like, it's not just the fact that he did it. She requested it specifically. She was into it. That's the part that's got me fucked up. That's the part that's got me fucked up. This is an info hazard. This is totally an info hazard. This is my Roko's Basilic. I think that I'm gonna fucking kill myself because I've gone insane, perseverating day in and day out, wondering what I would do if my wife asked me to do a Sonic voice. Like, can you do a Sonic voice while we fuck? No! Like, what do you... This is an info hazard, you guys. We have to... Everybody drink your electric Kool-Aid. We're done. We're wrapping up stream. Everybody drink your electric Kool-Aid. Bottoms up. Let's go. 1, 2, 3 shots. Like, what the fuck, guys? What the fuck?
Of conversations between Saberspark and Emily, real or not, have been lost to the turn of time. Cell phone and computers were upgraded several times, and most of the discussions allegedly happened on Skype. Skype officially died on May 5th of this year, 4 days after KP's video initially aired. Some people speculate that this timing is meaningful. It's not. The truth of the matter is that Emily came to KP in late March, a month before Skype was fully deleted. Not that that matters either, since Skype didn't save user-side data prior to 2018. If you didn't have access to the computer where all those messages originated from, you didn't have access to those messages at all. Of course, with what we know now, there are a couple of legitimate questions that do arrive. Why now? And if you have a platform, well, why not do this on your own? After all, Emily's platform is much bigger than KP's. Due to the fact that she's worked directly with Sega and actual established voice actors, you could argue that on some level...
The only impression that I could do really well is Jennifer Coolidge, so I don't know how that would work. Ooh, you make me want a hot dog real bad. I don't think that's sexy. I think that's really the only impression that I can do. I'm trying to think. Oh, I do a really good Buck Angel, but I don't think anybody wants that one.
Level, she's actually more successful than Saberspark. I can't really answer that question. As for why be anonymous, the reason claimed is that Emily was afraid of Saberspark's fans and would be afraid of them attacking her. I will say up front, Saberspark has a reputation for a few things, but sending his fans to attack people is not one of them. The only thing that comes close is when Saberspark made a harsh and, to be honest, bad critique of Freedom Tunes, but that backfired horrendously on him. The example that Emily gave when directly asked was this Twitter exchange between Saberspark and KP, the one that KP put in her own video. This is a bad example. Here's how Twitter works if you don't know. Even if you're following someone, you are not sent Twitter replies. You have to go out of your way and specifically seek them out. And if you're not following them at all, as Emily wasn't, the chances of coming across this is slim. It should be noted.
Wait a damn minute. What are we arguing here?
Specifically seek them out. And if you're not following them...
Oh, she's name searching herself. Okay. I feel very slay. I feel very slay right now. I feel very slay. I have to like fold it though, because like, so when I don't fold it, like look at, it's like just very deep. I don't know how else to explain it. Like I have to like pull it over my ears like this. Like this feels like too much. This feels like too much. I have to like fold it, like, you know what I mean? It's a little too deep. The hussy is a little too deep, you know what I mean? The hussy, the hat-ussy, it's a little too deep, so I have to like fold it like this so it fits a little bit better. And I kind of like, I feel like a little sailor with the little black rim, you know, like there once was a mighty sailor man. How does Gilligan's Island go? On a 3-hour tour. A 3-hour tour. You know? The Gilligan's Island song? Anybody? Alright. Anyway. There we go. Yippee! Maxing! You've never seen Gilligan's Island? What?
Wasn't, the chances of coming across this is slim. It should be noted that one of the things that Emily is accused of is sending her fan base to harass people. Even if that's false, any big YouTuber probably knows that their fan base has a propensity to harass people. I know that my fan base has done this in the past. You can probably get away with calling this projection, or you could also get away with calling this a fear based on experience. Even through an anonymous account, Emily did get harassment. And let's not forget that in some circles, Emily's reputation does precede her. Even though I don't have a horse in this race, do you think that I'm not personally worried that this whole excursion could go very, very wrong? I'm talking about serious allegations against the biggest guy in the community, coming from another established personality who is arguably even more successful. And both of them are at least
Well,
accused
one of them's a
having very
whore,
rabid
so-
fan bases. This isn't how you network, is what I'm saying. But now they're all on the same page, let's actually analyze the allegations in question.
analyze
Chapter
it.
3. The first incident. Canterlot Gardens,
First
late
incident.
September 2012. In terms of transparency, I am going to pull the allegations directly from the original KV video. Then afterwards, I'll throw in
No, I'm not going to say
some
it.
updated and more specific information that the accuser later added. It is also worth noting that there are a couple of different versions of this immediately. The one in the video is not identical that was released on the Brony Fandont Twitter and Blue Sky. With that being said, let's give all the parties the benefit of the doubt while we can. I will
Let's
be
give
calling
them
the
the
separate
benefit of the
alleged
doubt.
crimes incidents 1 and 2
Let's give everyone the benefit of the doubt, except for Saberspark. That sounds like a good idea. Let's do that.
for simplicity's sake. Incident 1 is said to have taken place in late September during Canterlot Gardens in Strongville, Ohio. Incident 2 was first said to have taken place in 2013, but was later corrected to EQLA 2012 in Anaheim, California. I get the change
When this came in the mail from Amazon, I said, babe, the hat stays on. Guess who slept on the couch?
information at all can be taken as a sign that something is amiss. But once again, let's give the benefit of the doubt while we can, keeping in mind that all of this allegedly took place over 10 years ago. Speaking of which, I must all remind you that these are allegations, and all parties should be presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
I became a fan of Saber Spark when I was in high school when I found his essay titled Ballad of the Brony in 2011. After graduating and turning 18, I added him on Skype to tell him I was a big fan of his. He added me back almost instantly, and we had a conversation ending with him giving me his phone number, which was a really big deal to me at the time since this was the first time interacting with any sort of celebrity. I had developed a parasocial crush on him due to being starstruck, which was something he was aware of. We would talk on Skype and text each other semi-frequently leading up to the first time meeting him. In 2012, I went to my first pony convention.
Yeah, I slept on the couch with the hat on. 100%, yeah, of course.
This was my first time ever traveling by myself and was soon after the two of us became friends. When I met up with him in person, he invited me to his hotel room and he showed me the video he was editing on his laptop, causing me to internally geek out. I was really nervous being alone in a hotel with someone I was a huge fan of and had a crush on, but I tried to play it cool. He was 4 to 5 years older than me, making me feel more nervous and out of place. He would bring up the prospects of the
This is giving me like the Law and Order SVU. She was 18, you sick fuck. Okay. Is it like everybody's like, oh my god, age gaps, call the police, age gaps. I feel like 18 and like 20 is not that crazy. Oh my god, get out the pitchforks. 18 and 20 is not that crazy. Even 18 and like 21 is not that crazy. Like, you have to think about it in this. I'm going to change the way that you guys think about this age gap brain rot discourse forever. Are you ready? This is how we're going to change it, okay? I'm going to change your guys' life. Is it reasonable for these two people to meet organically in the community? The answer is yes. Because you can be a freshman in college, and you're with seniors who are in college. It's not like weird for them to date. That's like a thing. That's like a normal thing. Obviously, if you're somebody who's like 18 and you meet somebody who's like 63, I mean, I guess there could be a 63-year-old going back to get their bachelor's degree. That's possible, okay? But like generally speaking, right? If you're like 18 years old and you're in college, it's reasonable that you're probably going to meet people who are like 20 to like 25. And you may even date those people. And that's okay. That doesn't immediately make everybody that you date a rapist because they happen to be older than you. She was literally neurodivergent and a minor, you sick fuck. Parentheses, 18, parentheses, a brony. Like, come on.
two of us dating and how it didn't feel right for us to do so. After that, he almost immediately initiated making out with me and guided me to his bed. In this moment, he did not directly ask me for consent. I was thrown onto his bed and he would insert himself into me.
May I give you a kiss, m'lady?
Saber Spark was also significantly larger than me, as I was an 80-something pound 18-year-old girl, so I physically...
Also, I missed this the first time. An 80-pound 18-year-old girl? Is this bitch Stuart Little? What do you mean you're 80 pounds and you're 18 years old? What do you mean? What do you mean? Does she have no legs? Her arms were cut off. Her legs were cut off. Her tongue was cut out. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean, bro?
Could not stop him. I felt extremely nervous and uncomfortable because I had never experienced having any sort of sexual intimacy with someone I was not dating before, much less so.
Except for when she wanted to go on Dr. Phil because she wanted to be a teen mom so fucking bad. She didn't have to have an intimate emotional connection with the dude that she wanted to knock her up. Interesting.
When I just met, I was very new to meeting people online in general. At that moment, I lay there dissociating as I felt very wrong while trying to rationalize it in my head to convince myself it was a safe and normal encounter. He brushed off the clean and finished himself and came back to the bed and offered me a handshake saying, "Friends, this would cause me for the rest of the event to feel that I was taken advantage of and ashamed of myself for not trying to stop the
You're 80 pounds? Okay, what are you? A small bird? Go eat something. Ugh. Oh. Listen, I hate fat people and I hate skinny people. Alright, it's just the way it is.
interaction. Though I tried pretending I was fine to everyone around me, I was and still am demisexual, and being put in that position was not something I wanted.
This concludes the accuser's statement of Incident 1. Before we continue, we need to discuss how these allegations were made. They were put together and constructed on Discord before they made it into the video, Twitter, and the Google document. KP and Courtney Pete gave direct feedback to the accuser. A lot of this is innocuous, asking for clarifying details, editing for flow, but there was a segment that they thought should have been removed entirely. The issue of...
I mean, great reminder, again, that this was edited, and it wasn't just like, oh, hey, you used the wrong there in this sentence or whatever the fuck. Like, it was actually, like, pretty fucking heavily edited by KP and by Courtney, both. Yeah, the whole thing just stinks. The whole thing stinks. It reeks like tomfoolery. That's what it reeks like, and I'm tired of pretending it doesn't.
Implied consent, and even giving Saberspark the benefit of the doubt that there was a possibility Saberspark felt that consent was implied. Courtney and Rachel recommended that part be removed, considering that Rachel thinks the idea of implied consent is quote-unquote kind of BS. As you might remember, the entire video has a whole segment on implied consent. More on this later.
That was terrible.
We won't be talking about Incident 1 very much. It was a smaller convention in general, and doesn't seem to have been well documented. The only footage that we can find was of panels and interviews, things that would have gone around in fandom circuits at the time. Here's what we can prove. Both Saberspark and Emily were at this convention, at least on the 27th. Saberspark shared a hotel room with at least Steno, a frequent collaborator. Saberspark was also doing coverage at times. Emily and Saberspark have a Twitter interaction late in the morning. At some point, he hosts a panel with Everfree Radio and tweets about it later that night. The sexual assault is alleged to have happened on this day, and there is a ton of time that's not accounted for. But that just means that it's technically possible to have happened. Just because time is unaccounted for, doesn't mean
all things are possible through Christ who compels us. Has no one considered
that it did happen. On day 3 of this convention, Saberspark tweeted about dining with the Creepers, Mondo Pony, and the Everfree Radio staff. After the incident, the accuser alleges trying to go to the room they were supposed to be staying at. However, they were staying with a couple, but there was allegedly a domestic violence incident, so they felt the need to leave. This incident was reported to the police.
There was a domestic violence incident? What? There was like a fist fight in a lobby? Oh, dude, that's awesome. Oh, I love that shit, dude. If there's ever like shit popping off, I'm like, oh no, I have to go and like vacuum the grass. That's crazy. Let me go outside really quick. Delicious.
At the very least, it doesn't seem to have been in fandom news or local news of the area. It is also worth noting that no police were ever contacted in regards to any of the alleged crimes at any point. That being said, it is worth noting that Brony fan conventions had notoriously bad security. Toon Critic, an infamous former analyst who had been accused of engaging in erotic roleplay with a minor for over a year, among other crimes, was allegedly able to get away with a lot of shady behavior in plain sight at many of these conventions. As late as 2019, when people should have been on much higher alert, a security staff at a Brony convention was even outed as a predator. Emily attests to having circled around the outside of the hotel on a Skype call.
God, you couldn't pay me to go to a Brony convention. You couldn't pay me. I mean, if anything, I'd be surprised if somebody wasn't raped at a Brony convention. That's kind of like the trajectory that we're on right now. Jesus Christ.
All with their best friend and wanting to come home. They didn't because they alleged having very strict parents and didn't want to be banned from cons forever. After this, according to them, they remained in the lobby for the rest of the night, remembering even sleeping there. Emily did post a picture of the convention the next day. It should be noted that Emily posted to social media at both events after the incidents were said to have happened. But that's really what we have for hard data here and full-on testimony. Let's go over some of the more inference-based things.
Yeah,
in the testimony, quote-unquote, the first time interacting with any sort of celebrity is technically inaccurate. Emily has been on Dr. Phil in an episode that was aired in 2011.
True! Dr. Phil is way more of a celebrity than Saberspark. True. Okay, keep going.
Dr. Phil would not be immediately thought of as a celebrity. And if you ask many people, especially young people who have been on Dr. Phil, they describe it as particularly traumatic. The Dr. Phil experience is a whole wormhole of controversies in and of itself that we don't have time to get into. He is a man accused of not having a therapy license, and yet acting like one on TV, focusing more on...
I mean, he does have his degree. He just let his license expire. So technically he does. It just expired, technically speaking. Like, come on, leave Dr. McGraw alone. Okay.
Entertainment than the health of the people he interacts with. But he is, by definition, a celebrity. The other odd thing here is being starstruck. Emily also repeatedly claimed that Saberspark kept saying that the two of them even dating would be wrong. So let's talk about where Saberspark stood in 2012. He was not the super mega ultra YouTuber that he is now. He didn't have 2 million subscribers at least. Even in the Brony analyst circuit, he was not at the top of the hill. I would have thought about Brony, Josh Scorcher, honestly, even as
Josh Scorcher
before I thought of Saberspark. That being said, Saberspark was not a no one at the time either. I mentioned Everfree Radio a couple of times already. Steno and Saberspark were a part of this collective, and had associations with Dusty Cat and AC Racebest. AC created Brony's React, which was incredibly successful in its heyday. So Saberspark wasn't a no one. I mean, he was a part of this whole panel in Canterlot Gardens. It is also worth mentioning that Brony fame, or horse fame as it was called, worked a little bit differently than general internet whatevers. People did flock to even smaller individuals, and it didn't take a lot to get wildly successful within the community. I myself practically did Wikipedia-style recaps of episodes, and even I got a degree of horse fame. On the other hand, we have to consider the time period.
Putting that on my resume. Putting the... what qualifies you for this position? Are you familiar at all with horse fame? Got a little bit of that going on. You ever heard of a little thing called Canterlot Gardens? I bet you have, haven't you? Yeah. I know. You didn't know that you were rolling around with a celebrity, did ya?
This allegedly took place in 2012, and in the previous 13 years, our cultural attitudes have changed a lot. These days, there's a ton of argument and debate about when it's okay for any kind of celebrity or even a YouTuber to do things with their fans, date them, engage in sexual behavior, so on. Back in 2012, it would have been at least strange for Saberspark to be concerned about power dynamics. This discussion really became mainstream in the wake of Me Too later in the decade. In 2012, with very few exceptions, being a YouTuber wasn't even a real job to the wider public. To be fair, Emily says it wasn't her saying it would have been wrong for the two of them to date. It was allegedly Saberspark saying this. So I did ask for alternative theories. We consider the fact that maybe it was an affair, but it didn't seem like Saberspark was dating anyone at the time. At the very least, we couldn't...
Or it's just fuckboy bullshit. Come on, why are we doing like this armchair psychoanalysis? This is like, this is typical fuckboy behavior. Oh my god, I wish that we could date, but it's such a bad idea. It's not you, it's me, babe. Like, we would be so good together, but you know, I'm not emotionally available right now. This is fuckboy shit. That's all this is. Like, I swear to God, the internet has ruined people, and it's crazy to me because these Why would you say that? Why would you say that? Why would you ever fucking say that? That I hate that. Everybody witness. I don't even want to think about it. God, I fucking hate you. The internet. I want to say it's the internet, but obviously if this did happen, you know, in like 2012 or whatever the fuck, it's totally different. But it's like somebody just like being a playboy, being a fuckboy, getting pump and dumped. That does not mean that you were raped. That's like part of the game, okay? That's part of the game. Somebody was like, I love you so much, baby. I promise if we smash, I'll buy you that engagement ring. Like, I promise that I'll never leave you, da-da-da. And then you fuck, and he's like, actually, I got like 10 other bitches that I'm talking to. So sorry, peace. It's like, I was right. No, you got pump and dumped. You got played. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Like, the internet has ruined people. They have ruined people. They absolutely ruined people. This is like normal, traditional fuckboy behavior. Like, oh, I wish that we could date, but... it's just not a good time for me. I'm like, you know, I'm really prioritizing my career. I'm just not, like, I just got out of a relationship. Like, I'm not really looking for anything serious. You know? We have all heard these lines. We've either heard them or we've given them. Or both. Okay? We've all been, oh, no, I'm just not looking for anything serious right now. No, you just don't want to date this bitch. That's it. Like, oh my god. Hello? Has anybody ever been outside? Anybody ever?
Couldn't find any information that he was. Emily herself suggested that maybe it was because of the age gap, but at no point was she ever accusing that Saberspark thought that she was under the age of 18 or anything like that. Saberspark was 24 at the time and she was 18, and that is a significant age gap, but once again...
It can be a significant age gap, but again, you have to take into consideration, are these people like organically meeting? Just because there is an age gap doesn't inherently mean that somebody is being predated upon. Like, one doesn't necessitate the other. You can have somebody who's even more closely in age that is in a way more abusive, like, power dynamic relationship. Like, what if you have somebody who's 18 years old and they're dating somebody who's 19 years old, but that person is mega famous. That person is Justin Bieber. Then what? What about who's the hypothetical rape victim in that scenario? Like, we have to have more than just the ages. We have to have more. Obviously, if we're talking about somebody who's 9 and somebody who's 30, the ages are more than enough. But if we're talking about somebody who's 18 and who's an adult who can consent to sexual activity, who's having sex with another adult, you have to show me that something else is going on. It can't just be like, oh, well, he was older. Okay, and? You can't fuck older guys now? I thought this was America. Are older guys not in right now? I thought older guys were in right now. Apparently, I can't keep up. I don't understand. It has to be more. We have to have more than this. This is just so fucking stupid.
Considering the time period, I don't know how taboo anyone would have felt dating an 18-year-old just in general. I am also aware that
and they weren't dating, they just fucked. They just fucked. They weren't even dating. I'm done.
People speculate that Emily might be bitter that a previous relationship didn't work out, and that might be why she's doing this. The testimonies themselves do delve into a lot of a parasocial crush, and the possibility that she wishes things turned out differently than they did. By her own admission, she believes that consent may have been implied because of said crush. Now, people can be sexually assaulted by someone that they have a crush on. They can be taken to a place that they are not comfortable with. And I will also state this, because I think this is relevant to this argument. Emily currently has a partner that she does seem very comfortable with. That doesn't make this point of view impossible, I just personally think it makes it less likely. No matter which way you slice incident 1, it's going to be a he said, she said story. It allegedly took place in a hotel room with no witnesses. And while there are certainly things that you can...
Then why are you putting all your eggs in one basket versus the other? If it is a true he said, she said, why are you coming out so hard against Saberspark but not being critical towards Emily? Is he critical at all towards her in this video? Spoil it for me. I don't care. Whenever I read a book, I read the last page first. Is he critical of her at all? I know that he said that in the interview because he released a video that was like a 4-hour-long interview with her that he, quote-unquote, was not critical towards her at all during the interview. Is he critical towards her at all in this video? Like, even kind of? This is insane.
Questions, certain statements that sound odd, there are no outward contradictions. And one of those questions that we should probably nip in the bud immediately is, why don't you just go to the police? After 2020, I think that some people do understand the view of being hesitant to go to the police a little bit more. But to start with, some people are just very uncomfortable with police officers in general, and in many cases just
Oh my god, I couldn't call and report my rape because ACAB. No, no, no! Did we accidentally click on an Essence of Thought video? What the fu- Well, technically, people are afraid of the police. Therefore, it makes sense that that people would shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Shut up, dude. If they're like YouTube is not the FBI. YouTube is not the fucking police. YouTube isn't dude. I hate this take. I hate it. 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 I'm leaving the left, you guys. I'm voting for Trump in the next election cycle. I know he can't even run again, but I'm voting for him. Like, this is insane. I'm so tired of the woke left. The woke left has ruined everything. Oh, guys, I couldn't report my rape. ACAB. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. It's okay. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm having a good time.
Reliably so. But the best way I can describe it is like this. After something traumatic happens, the last thing on many people's minds is trying to prove it. And sometimes, even in the instant, you can't prove it. If someone runs over your dog, would your first inclination be to try and write down the license plate number of the car that hit it? That being said...
Yes? If my dog went outside and somebody ran over my fucking dog, you best believe I'd be getting the license plate number so I could go to that bitch's house later. And be like, yo, you just squished my boy. You squished my boy. Yeah. What? What do you mean? Somebody just murdered your entire family. Is your first instinct to call the police? Of course not. What? You just watched the bombing of Hiroshima. Is your first instinct to try and save those who have been bombed? Of course not. Guys, going to the police is scary, but you know what's not scary? Giving my allegation of rape to a famous YouTuber so it can be picked apart and scrutinized by millions of people on the internet. That's not scary at all. The police are scary, but litigating this in an even more public way that I could ever dream of having litigated my rape publicly on the internet for all to see and comment on, that's way less scary. That's way less scary. Oh, okay.
Going to the police after something terrible happens is, generally speaking, the correct course of action. To be forward with you, if this is where the story ended, I probably wouldn't be making this video at all. There's not much a YouTuber can do with a he said, she said story that's not their own. At the very least, it's
all about that he said, she said bullshit. Think you better quit talking that shit, or you'll be leaving with a fat lip. Anybody? Any Limp Biscuit fans in chat? Any Limp Biscuit fans?
Very big risk to handle at all. But the big issue is that people are going to have their own immediate biases, and you can't really shake them away. You know, you've got the believe all victims crowd versus the I want to see the goddamn footage before I believe you crowd. But we do have one more incident to look over, and luckily for us...
We can... Okay, listen there, Mr. Enter. You are the one that is on not sitting perfectly in the middle of the spectrum like you're pretending to, okay? There is the, I need to see the live 4K footage of the rape, and then the person that's like, I don't care if it was Casey Anthony, she was raped, I don't care. Literally, that's where we are right now, okay? In the middle, we should be like, no, dude, like, I need something other than anonymous allegations from, like, 15 fucking years ago. I can barely remember what I had for breakfast yesterday, dog, and you're telling me that I'm supposed to rely on this bitch who literally, historically, has fucked her way to the top, is a literal brony groupie. I'm supposed to believe this bitch and her recollection of events from 15 fucking years ago? Really? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, totally. Yeah, sure.
There's actually more stuff to look over with that one. Chapter 4. The second incident. Early November, EQLA 2012. Once again, I'm going to be pulling the allegation directly from the KT video. I will state ahead of time, once again, the date in the original allegation is wrong. Emily later updated this to have a...
Okay, so she lied in her allegation, but we're not going to talk about that. Anybody else feel like we're just gonna be we're gonna soy out for a second, you guys. Everybody get your soy hats on. Any other trans guys just like get so mad? Like, I fucked up so bad, like transitioning. To be a white woman right now, oh my god. Are you kidding? I could get away with murder. I could literally fucking kill people. And everybody would be like, a white woman is speaking? I fucked up bad, dude. I fucked up bad. Anybody else feel that way? Anybody? Anybody? Jesus Christ, dude. I could run over 1,000 puppies and be like, I didn't know that you couldn't run over puppies. I didn't think they would die. And everybody would be like, oh my god, she's just a girl. What a waste. What a waste. What a fucking waste. Oh my god. I ruined my own life for what?
Occurred at the very start of November in 2012. I will also state again that these are allegations, and all parties are to be presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
I maintained the friendship until a second occurrence happening at a completely different PonyCon in 2013. This time we met in a public space, but had no one around and talked for a while. He kept bringing up the prospects of us starting a relationship, but how it felt wrong. He would grab my hand saying how it felt so right, only to push my hand away saying, but so wrong.
Well, obviously, Sai, I was a hey mama's lesbian. I know that it doesn't really work that way. It does if people are desperate enough. It does if people are desperate enough. I had this guy one time be like, you know, guys would be into you if you didn't dress like a guy. And I was like, crazy, because that's actually the desired outcome. I'm actually doing exactly what I am, like, I'm reaching my goal. Thank you for your criticism, though. I'll write that down. No, it only works if you're like a normal lady. If you're a lesbian or a butch lady, no one cares. You have to be like a normal. You don't even have to be that hot. I mean, look at KP. You don't have to be that hot. You just have to be like a general run-of-the-mill girl next door. And even better, if you have like a somewhat masculine hobby, like if you like Call of Duty and you're a girl, you can be the ugliest bitch alive. You can do no wrong. You're basically Christ reincarnate. Like, it's amazing. It's amazing, you know? Everybody's like, oh my god, you know, women have it so hard. Really? Some of them do, but a lot of you bitches are out there living my dream, and you know what? That's my fault. I fucked up. That's my fault. I fucked up. You know, I can own when I messed up, alright? That's fine.
I had decided that my crush on him was something I needed to get over because I felt that my emotions were being toyed with. He then suggested going to a more public space around others, and we went into the elevator to go up to the lobby of the PonyCon hotel. As soon as the door closed, Saber Spark forcefully shoved me against the wall and shoved his tongue down my throat. It scared me and actually hurt, triggering another attack of dissociation. Once again, he did not ask for consent when throwing me into this situation. Once the doors opened and people were present, this led me to feel very embarrassed. He got off me and took my hand and guided me towards the stairs to go back down to where we just were and into a men's restroom where he pulled his pants down and guided my hands and head to
Exactly, Mr. Mollusk. Exactly. You know what I'm saying.
Perform oral sex on him. I was afraid of denying him because of past experiences with sexual assault, so I did it to get it over with without wanting to cause a problem. Where he would ejaculate on my face, apologize profusely, and then offer the same handshake as he did at the con I initially met him, saying, "Friends?" Despite pretending I was fine, I had slowly begun pulling away from Saberspark. I cried that night while staying with a friend, but waited for that friend to fall asleep so no one could hear me, and I would cry for months, feeling ashamed of myself for putting myself in a compromising situation with someone I hardly knew. I had always felt taken advantage of by him, and tried being friendly and pretending nothing was wrong because it was all I knew how to do. I would blame myself for the interactions for years.
Yeah, it just sounds like a weird, awkward hookup. That's just like what it sounds like. Somebody said it in chat earlier. It was I don't remember who said it, but it's like, it just seems like a lot of these people are really unfamiliar with hookup culture. Like, in my experience, it's actually like kind of normal to just have like weird, fucking awkward hookups, and that's it. You're kind of like, that was fucking weird, and that's it. Like, normalize things just being uncomfortable, or like a little odd, or a little weird even. That doesn't mean that you're like a victim of something. Like, weird shit happens all the time, bro. That, like, it's okay. Sometimes weird things can happen and it's alright.
Years, only opening up to a few close people, questioning if consent was implied.
Bro, I have no idea. I have no idea. No idea, it's incredible.
Because of my crush, and unwillingness and fear to outright stop the advances because of how uncomfortable I felt. I understand that there is a possibility that he felt consent was implied because he knew I had a crush on him. However, he did not once ask for consent directly and was instead thrown into the...
Well, and they did that whole segment in the original video about implied consent. That they made for the whole video was a mistake. Let's be very clear. The entire video was a mistake. The second mistake, well, I don't know. I could probably name off several mistakes. Another big mistake was not scripting that part of the video. The part of the video with implied consent was a shit fuck waste of time. Because they kind of counteracted everything that they aimed to like attack, basically. And it just shows like a terminally online virgin mindset. Because implied consent is absolutely a thing. And implied consent is actually fundamental for navigating sexual encounters, especially with people that you have rapport with. Even with people that you don't really have rapport with, there are safe and productive and healthy ways and comfortable ways to, you know, test the waters and engage in sexual activity with people just with implied consent. And people have been doing it successfully for years. And sometimes you need a little bit more. Sometimes the, you know, enthusiastic verbal, hey, let me check in and make sure that you're doing okay is what people need. Sometimes people don't need that. And to do, like, it is just so terminally online and so virgin coded to say that the blanket prescription for every sexual encounter is verbal check-ins at every step of the way for every sexual interaction, or you are a rapist, or you have been raped. That's just fucking insane. That's insane. Like, there are certainly people, like, you know, or even like, you know, the first or the second or the third time that you do it, it's like, yeah, those kind of stops and check-ins can be helpful. They can certainly be useful for people who, you know, don't really know what they're doing, da-da-da. But it's like, I anticipate somebody who has had a sexual encounter before, at least, you know, a handful of sexual encounters before, that's of age, that is navigating a hookup, that we don't have to do the red light, green light, like, every fucking 2 seconds. And I think that part of the video was a colossal mistake, because it demonstrates that they're so disillusioned to what, like, just having a hookup is, or like a shitty hookup. Everybody has fucked somebody and it was terrible. And you're like, dude, that was ass. Like, I would never do that again. Never in a million years. That was terrible. Terrible. That's awful. That doesn't mean that you were raped. That doesn't mean that you were assaulted. It just means it was a shitty hookup. Like, everybody wants to morally load everything into, like, something was done to me. Sometimes you can just have a bad experience with something, and that's just what happened. And that's okay. It is okay to have a bad experience. It is okay to have a regretful experience. That's fine as well. That doesn't mean that you're the victim of something. It's just insane. It's insane, and it drives me fucking crazy.
These sexual encounters usually very suddenly. There were no discussions about the power dynamic between...
Is that the interview that, Mr. Enter posted, or is there a different one? Because Mr. Enter did like the 4-hour video call with her. I don't know if I have the stamina to watch that. I also don't know when my wife is coming home. I have no idea when she's coming home. We have time. I don't know if we can watch that. I don't know if we have time to watch that, but we can try.
Between us as a popular content creator and a
But we do have to pick up the pace a little bit if we're going to finish this, because there's like an hour left of this.
Time. And my parasocial connection to him, and not wanting someone I was a fan of to hate me if I rejected him, leaving me afraid to stop his advances. Over time, I grew increasingly distant and would eventually end contact completely. I don't feel safe enough to fully come forward because I don't want his fans and friends, or even him, to harass or contact me publicly. I wish to stay anonymous so I can avoid the anxiety and stress of being targeted by either him, his friends, and especially his fans. As Saber Spark has over 2 million subscribers, and even sharing my story at all has me feeling really afraid. I have seen other instances of Saber Spark using his enormous platform to confront people online he has had conflict with. I have also witnessed several instances of his friends attempting to justify him and others' actions. I was not made aware of his jokes about consent and his recent behavior involving Chris until only recently.
What's the relevant part? This part, chapter 5? Or the KP rep?
And it left my stomach in knots. I please ask above all else for my privacy to be respected. I don't wish to publicly defend my personal experience and just wish to share my experience.
This concludes the accuser's initial statement on Incident 2. This was the focal point of most of our investigation, because we actually had something to look at.
Start writing now, ladies and gentlemen, because Equestrian LA, AC Race Fest, I'm gonna vlog it. I'm going to video log it.
This is AC Racebest, host and creator of Brony's React, and notable friend of Saberspark, at the time at least. He went to EQLA that year in Anaheim, California, and vlogged the whole thing. The vlogs are actually still up on his channel, but they've also been combined and re-uploaded in a corrected aspect ratio by deleted Brony video archives. It's shitty 2012, like 140p hand cam quality.
A little tidbit, I'm about to get a new video camera, so the formatting on this one's a little bit off. As you're noticing, you see these black balls all over.
But there is film evidence that we can look at for this one. And yes, we did archive it. Also relevant, this is the calendar of November 2012. The convention was meant to happen over the weekend, the 3rd and 4th, Saturday and Sunday, technically speaking. Technically speaking, AC starts recording on the night of the 1st.
Now, you ask yourselves, why is he putting this up today? This is a, well, whenever I get this up, but I'm filming this on a Thursday.
Who the fuck is this guy? Who's this honky?
Saber Spark is also talked about in this footage.
Is that Saber Spark?
I'm going to see if I can sneak up.
Oh, no.
On Everfree Radios, Final Draft, Dusty Cat, and Saber Spark.
Okay,
we found Saber Spark, Dusty, and Final Draft on my phone, and they were already gone and back at their hotel.
AC also talks about attending the premiere of Wreck-It Ralph, likely referring to a midnight screening where it first aired in most locations, on November 2nd, 2012.
Let's walk. Folks, I just came out of...
Okay, so what is this part of the video? Can I go forward a little bit here? Like, can I get... Like, this is just confirming that they were at the same convention, right? Can we go forward a little bit?
Spark's tweet here looks like it was made at November 3rd, at almost 1 in the morning. Now, Emily...
I don't care. I'm gonna go forward a little bit.
hear him. When the camera cuts forward again to after 2 in the morning, AC is driving in his car alone, which means that Saber Spark needed to find another way back to the hotel. He may have gotten a ride with someone else, it may have been close enough for him to walk to the hotel, we don't know. It should also be noted that places with Wi-Fi, such as McDonald's or outside bars, they don't often give customers the ability to charge their electronics, because people would be there all day and the business owners don't want that and it would drive the electric bill up. So Saber Spark would have needed to find some way to charge his phone before 10 p.m.
Oh, so this is just schizophrenia. Okay, so let's just assume that incident 2, I don't know, let's just assume that they were at the same place, that it's possible that they were around each other. They were both at the Brony festival, they were tweeting at each other, whatever the fuck. That was what was in the that's what was in the Google Doc that Bonk shared. So, okay, we have locked in the schizophrenia. Okay, what's next? Give me something else here. This is incident 2. Okay, so incident 2 could have happened. They were, in fact, at the same festival. Got it. Okay, what's next?
The assault allegations specifically. Granted, he didn't have to because there was no evidence directly against him. However, the Disney vlogs do exist, and they're very compelling to this whole case. The videos are still up on AC RaceFest channel. It begs the question, why wasn't this mentioned at all? Even if it's not the whole day, it'd give a wide swath of the audience enough of a reason to doubt the accusations on merit alone. On top of that, for much of the day, Saber Spark was with people, one of which was recording. There may still exist footage that was not used in the vlogs. I doubt it, but it is possible. Like, it's not a perfect alibi, but there is clearly ammo here that he left on the table. I can't say why Saber Spark didn't use any—
UGLY, you ain't got no alibi, you ugly. Nice.
Of this, but I might have a guess.
She's aborted. Oh my gosh. So tell us more about your hair, Michelle.
This is Michelle Creeber. If that name sounds familiar, she was the voice actress for Apple Bloom in Friendship is Magic. She was born September 7th, 1999. So on November 2nd, 2012, she had recently turned 13 years old. Michelle Creeber's parents are mentioned in the vlogs.
Know as well that Mando Pony and the Creepers were also hanging out there yesterday, so we might, who knows, we might see some cameos by some people.
But they don't seem to appear much on camera. However, someone else does. This man here. He walks in, and it literally looks like he's about to give Michelle a hug, and then they walk in tandem. This is not Saber Spark. The shirt's different, and he's wearing a hat, but it's not Michael, Michelle's father, and he's not in the group photo that Saber Spark took at the event. But he is in the vlogs, spending much of the day with Saber Spark and the Everfree radio cast, as well as Michelle Creeber, this 13-year-old girl that he is not related to. So, who is this man?
I'm really confused. What are we doing right now?
You're watching Everfree Network. You're watching Everfree Network.
I don't really know what's going on, guys. We're just here.
This is Mando Pony, making very gross comments that you shouldn't be making about any 13-year-old.
Yeah, you now have the Creeper fever. Oh, I've had the Creeper fever. I've had the Creeper fever. It's just now I'm contaminated. Creeper pass. Michelle infects everyone. That makes you feel good, sir. And so does Monique. Wait, and so does Michael.
Monique and Michael are the names of Michelle's parents.
So tell us more about your hair, Michelle.
This is all very, very creepy. Some people might argue that these
I thought that this video was about Saber Spark, and I love Kim Possible a lot. What's going on?
Comments aren't a big deal. Like, we're seeing more than is actually there. But I have to ask you this question if you think that way. What the hell do a bunch of guys in their early to mid-20s have in common with a 13-year-old girl that they're not even related to? Yes, she—
Oh, he's trying to tie Saber Spark. Oh, okay.
She was an actress, a celebrity, and yes, they're probably all fans of hers. But, like, there's a difference between meeting a person like that at a convention and, well, just hanging out with them for the day. And it looks like the whole Everfree radiocast is just spending time taking—
Yeah, did Saber Spark know, I guess? I just don't... What does this have to do with the allegations that are presented to us right now? I really don't understand. I truthfully don't understand, because, like, let's be totally fucking real for a second. Did he even know? Like, is he supposed to have the gift of, like, divination? Is he supposed to be able to know? This guy was, like, kind of a fucking freak. I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Taking it all in nonchalantly. It should also be noted that while I was looking at the River Rapids ride and Mondo Pony actually announces who he was, I learned that it seemed like both Michelle and Mondo Pony had appearances on the Everfree radio channel.
And yeah, I think it's awesome. This is my first encounter truly with the Creepers.
Wow.
Yeah, I got a hug. You got from all of them, even Dad. Even the Dad. Yeah, they're like the sweet.
I'm gonna let this play really quick. I'm gonna run to the bathroom. Let me know if something crazy happens. 1 second.
I can tell.
Dude, she was a 13-year-old girl, not a Disney mascot. Yes, she was a celebrity. I can't imagine any time where this would have been appropriate. Like, people made fucked up jokes about children back in the early 2010s on the internet, but as you can clearly see from the footage, this is not the internet. This is out in public. And the whole Everfree radio group, at the very least, doesn't seem to be off-put by any of this. Now, Mando Pony, if you don't know, in 2020 was accused of having inappropriate conversations with minors, cheating on his wife, among other things.
Because once you hear the important stuff, it's pretty easy to see that this is basically undeniable evidence that Andy both sent and solicited nude photos from this girl. The first one contains a straight up admission that Andy wanted to do Kaylee, followed by a completely unsolicited photo of his bare ass. Another screenshot, one of the most damning, contains a snippet of a conversation in which Andy straight up asks her for a nude photo, followed by him immediately telling her to keep it secret and that Andy doesn't want anyone finding out about him sending her inappropriate photos. And even worse, in the next screenshot after that, he says, "It's probably wrong of me to be attracted to you, but I can't help it. As long as it's kept quiet and as long as you're comfortable, is that okay?"
Can anybody who covers this have like a decent video? Anybody? Is that, I feel like I'm really not asking for a lot. I really feel like I'm not asking for a lot. And you guys hold me accountable. I feel like I'm really not asking for a lot for like one person to cover this and make like a concise, clean cut, easy to follow video. Anybody? Has anyone done this? Literally, on God, anyone. Anyone. I know that I don't fall into that category because my coverage has been like live streams. So it's not short and concise. But has anybody just done like a quick little snippy video? Anyone? That doesn't exist. Wow, there's an untapped market. Maybe that's what I should do this week. I don't know, dude. Fuck.
And it won't progress beyond just flirt/lewd moments. XD had been having marital issues, and that while he apparently still loved her, he hadn't been intimate with her in over a year and felt as though their connection was growing weaker, which of course is a completely reasonable justification for cheating on your wife with a high schooler.
While there was apparently an investigation that didn't lead to any sort of conviction,
I missed something.
Pretty much all of his associations distanced themselves from him, and his fan base this day and age is largely non-existent. I probably would have created some distance too if someone I knew was making jokes about a 13-year-old girl
Cartoonishi. Yes, Cartoonishi. Good one, good one.
Infecting people. Mando Pony would have been around 24 at the time of this footage, if you're wondering. So this is weird. I think that most people would consider it weird. But I will state, there is no real evidence to how much Saberspark or any of the Everfree Radio people had to any of this. We don't know what anyone...
Okay, so they had no idea. Cool. I'm glad. Good, Mr. Enter. We can end this segment. Oh, wait. There's another 15 minutes of this segment. Oh, Mr. Enter. I thought it was like, oh, well, how the fuck would Saberspark know? Does Saberspark have a crystal ball? Does Saberspark participate in the casting of lots? Is that how Saberspark knows that he is in the company of a rapist, pedophile? Ah, he does not. Oh, okay. Let's continue to chastise him. Do you think that the children of Casey Anthony knew that she was a killer? Do you think they knew? Is it their fault? They should have been able to know. They should have predicted that Casey Anthony was going to kill them. They should have known. They should have known better, frankly. Fuck off. I'm skipping this. I'm finishing it. I gotta finish it. I have to finish it. I have to finish this. I can't watch this part anymore. Well, let's get the last bit.
Earth, I would want to say, is that Chris Hansen has been targeting me for a while now.
What? Why is Chris... what?
And just detached from all of this, it's weird for Saberspark to still be defending Black Griffin. Here, in all places. This could have possibly been his...
Wait a damn minute. Is Adrian saying that Sai is more entertaining than me? What the fuck? Guards! Seize him! Witch!
Very last stand. Like, it had to have crossed his mind at some point that this response video had a possibility of not working. A possibility of not turning the tides.
Obviously.
With your dying breath, do you really want it to be a defense of Black Griffin? Do you feel that strongly about this man?
Oh my god! Can we stay on topic? Black Griffin this, Black Griffin that, Black Griffin this, Black Griffin... Shut the fuck up! Shut up! Is this like fucking Tom Riddle to Saberspark? Like if I arrange Saberspark's name into different letters, it'll spell Black Griffin? Are they fucking fraternal twins? Are they tethered together? Do they share the pink string attached to the pinky that the Greeks prophesized about? Can we have one fucking conversation about the subject matter without talking about Black Griffin? Hello? I'm fine. I'm fine.
Because, like, detached from morality, even detached from the truth, defending Black Griffin here is a boneheaded move. It reminds people of your biggest controversy prior to this.
I'm getting ready to do like a Bossman Jack crash out. The thing that sucks is like, I can't just throw my chair, you guys. I can't just throw my chair. I can't do that. That's crazy. I can't do that. I can't do that. I want to because it'd be fucking hilarious, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it because at the end of the day, you know who has to patch the drywall? Me. So I have to be responsible. But wow, if I was gonna throw my chair, I would do it right now.
You can't logic anyone into believing your side on the Black Griffin controversy. And there are so many other points you could have gone to if you wanted to go after Brony Fandont, such as his associations with Whoopmaster. Watch Beckett's video for that. And honestly, defending...
Why don't you say, like, here's the thing, though. This is the point, Mr. Enter. And I'm going to save you however long this segment was. The point is, very pointedly and very clearly, that everybody who was involved in coming forward with these allegations against Saberspark fucking hate him. That's the problem. That's why it's important for him to reference. That's why he says this Brony Fandont fucking freak has been riding my dick into the sunset for years on end. He has the biggest hate boner I've ever seen in the entire world for Black Griffin. It's because this is purely a vendetta out of spite. That's the point. Feel however the fuck you want about Black Griffin. I don't care. Feel however the fuck you want about Saberspark. Believe that he raped her, don't. I don't care. The point is if there is somebody who has a hate boner, like their dick is throbbing with hate, it's literally the only thing that's keeping it erect is pure unadulterated hate. If that person is who is spearheading allegations that they have literally been praying to God for years, you're goddamn right somebody is gonna fucking bring it up. Yes, of course. Water is wet. The clocks go clockwise. Bears shit in the woods. Like, what else do you fucking want? Yes, that is very important. Welcome to God's great year of 2025. People's motivations are important. Why people choose to do things is important. If somebody fucking hates me, and tomorrow somebody comes out and says, hey, you know, I think that Malcolm actually helped orchestrate the Holocaust, and it turns out that that person fucking hates me, I would hope to God that somebody would say, wait a minute, hang on, the guy that called Malcolm Hitler reincarnated actually really fucking hates Malcolm. That's worth talking about. And in defending myself, I would say, yo, this guy literally thinks I'm Hitler. For some fucking reason, I have no idea. This guy doesn't like me. He's been waiting for me to do something dumb so he can say, look, Hitler. Yes, obviously. Mr. Enter, please. I'm fine. I'm great. I'm having a really good day. Is everybody else having a good day?
Black Griffin here. It's not even a good defense for Gabriel. Like, what am I supposed to get out of this? Yeah, this guy who thinks Gabe is a groomer is coming after me, but I'm innocent, so that means Gabriel is innocent too. Like,
that's totally what he fucking said, Mr. Enter. That's totally what he fucking said. Get KP's boobs out of your fucking ears. She has one tit in each ear, and it's suffocating your judgment. You're literally drowning in the brony pussy. The bussy, if you will. The brussy. I don't know. He's literally pointing out that, like, this is an actual incident of gang stalking. This is real gang stalking. This isn't the shit that Ethel, like, wishes would happen to her so she could have a successful GoFundMe, okay? This is, like, actual, like, this guy has been scouring the internet for, like, the magic smoking gun. He's been looking. He has his rape goggles on. He's been searching for 100 days and 100 nights for evidence of the Saberspark rape. Mr. Enter, please.
Why? Why any of this? I do think it's important to state the difficult situation that Saberspark is in his response video. He had the task of trying to prove a negative, which you can't do. Like, even with the timeline and everything that we found, he'd still have to recall things from over a decade ago. And even if he could do that correctly, without the gaps in the footage, it'd still just be his own word. And even if he did find the footage, people could say that it was altered or blah, blah, blah. You can't prove a negative. So I can get...
Which is why, and I'm going to say this, you guys write this down, okay? Write this down. This is very important, okay? That's why if you're responding to allegations, the less you say, the better, okay? Did Saberspark say, yeah, we fucked, but it was consensual? No. The more that you talk, the more you shoot yourself in the face. And KP could learn from that. She really could. She really, really could. Less is more, you guys. Less is more. Saberspark's response, whatever you want to call it, his, you know, rape response. I don't know. Whatever word you want to use, okay? Bulletproof. They use that to shield tanks in Afghanistan, actually, conveniently. I bet you guys didn't know that. It's bulletproof because he doesn't say too much. He doesn't say too little. He points out that the people that are making these allegations are people who have literally been stalking him to the ends of the earth for years. And people in his close company, trying to paint everybody as a pedophile. That's the other thing, again. Let's just pretend that this did happen. How the fuck does this make him a pedophile? Let's just pretend that Saberspark did in fact rape, okay? He did. Let's say he did, hypothetically. How does that make him a pedophile? You guys just be making shit up. You just be throwing anything at the wall. Mr. Enter. Mr. Enter. Mr. Enter. Mr. Exit my screen, please. This is ass? This video is ass? This video fucking sucks?
Why he's kind of reaching for arguments in his response video. Because even if he was totally 100% innocent, you can't exactly prove that you didn't do something. At least in a situation like this where it really is he said versus she said. However, I have to say the arguments that he's reaching for are weird. Technically speaking, Black Griffin getting harassed by Brony Fandont doesn't have anything to do with Saber Spark. It's a whataboutism argument. Like, think about it. Even if everything against Gabe is false and everything that Saber Spark says about Brony Fandont is true in regards to Gabe, that doesn't automatically mean that Saber Spark is innocent. You know what I'm saying? Chapter 6.
No,
Proving
I
KP
don't.
rep. There's one thing that's of a fairly universal.
Okay, here we go.
This is where Bonk and
this is what we've been waiting for, guys. Yes! This is it. This is what I've been waiting for. Let's go! Yes, please, put your broom away and attack the white woman!
And KP all agree. We should be focusing on the actual allegations and not the video that was, for all intents and purposes, a complete and utter train wreck. I hope that spending 23 pages of script on them is enough, because I do think this video would be incomplete if we didn't at least talk about the video in question. So here's the events that transpired behind the scenes. In 2015, Aficionados Chris is in a co-ed room with KP at a convention. At some point later, he gets fired and comes up with this joke or story. Most people are telling me that it's a joke, but honestly, I really can't tell, and I'm not taking anyone's word on it. He tells a story where he did something very inappropriate to KP's clothing, and shares the story with other former KP staff. It's worth noting that KP does have a lot of disgruntled former workers. This video was mostly about Saberspark, and I think
It's because she has slaves. I thought it was funny too, in like the email that she sent to Saberspark, she was like, oh my god, you have many disgruntled employees. It's like the call's coming from inside of the house. So do you, bitch. That doesn't mean anything. If we're basing the veracity of our rape allegations on how many people are mad at us, it's not looking good for you. It's not looking good for you.
I made that clear, like, publicly, but when I opened up my DMs, people just kept telling me stuff about KP. Like, a lot of stuff about bad experiences and apparent weird shit she's done, stuff that's not entirely relevant to the matter at hand.
Tell me about
I'm
this.
sure that other people will be telling their stories at some point in the future.
Tell me more.
I want to stay focused. In the 2020s, the story...
Now we want to stay focused. No! Please engage in unfounded speculation and attack her character unprompted. That's why I'm here. Please. It's my favorite hobby. Please.
Finally gets back to Rachel. She confronts him in a call with someone called Riddle of Lightning. This call is allegedly recorded without Chris's knowledge.
Oh my god, we know her.
And consent. I will also note that there is a third party here, Riddle of Lightning. He doesn't say anything, so I'm fairly sure his purpose...
To my understanding, Riddle of Lightning is in here because KP didn't know how to record on OBS. That's my understanding, is that Riddle was the one that recorded it because KP didn't know how to use OBS. That's my understanding.
Here was just to record. Considering the Star Giant video, you might be expecting me to say a certain thing. I'm not going to say that this is illegal, because I don't know the exact scenario. I'm not even going to say that Chris didn't deserve it. I'm just stating a fact of the matter.
KP's defense is not that she asked for permission, but Chris, quote, should have known.
Chris was allegedly recorded without his knowledge and consent. KP sends this to Chris's bosses, and seems to be very, very surprised when they don't do
that. She sends this to Chris's quote-unquote bosses like 10 years after the fact. Let's be specific here.
Anything with this information. Both of the bosses make it somewhat clear that a big problem here is that the recording was taken without Chris's consent.
Yeah.
And so KP goes on to make this huge video starting roughly in late 2024. A lot of the video is about her own beef with Chris, but she gets in contact with some of the alleged victims of DA games, and towards the end of March...
You know, I wonder if when she was DMing me, if she ever told me that these were recorded without consent. I wonder if she ever said that. Oh, she did send this to me. Dear Rachel, evidence shows that on 8/2/23, you did knowingly conceal and without consent use a computer video recording device to record Mr. Christopher Blank for the purpose of blackmail and harassment, as well as the perpetuating a campaign of slander against him and the company he works for, he works with, DA Games. Pursuant to Georgia Code 161166, this is a crime. Further evidence shows that you use threats of harassment and coercion to force the company, DA Games, to require an apology from Mr. Blank for an occasion that was within his rights, within his rights ordinance with the First Amendment. It is documented that you did use threats of further harassment, slander, and public degradation with the intent to potentially ruin the reputation. Is this still on Twitter? Important question. Yep, it is. It's right here. Right here. Here you go. Enjoy. Wow. I should have read this when it was sent to me. I should have read this. Here you guys go. Here's the link for that. I didn't read this originally. I think I read this to you guys before. She said, I have a big expose, and I said, tell me more. She said, it's a whole story. Do you want text or call? I said, text. I'm violently hungover and haunting my house. Very true. So she sent me all the shit and I didn't read it. I was really hungover, so I didn't read it. I was very, very hungover. That's why I didn't read it. Because I was very hungover. Nice. Yeah. So it is actually illegal. In the state that it was recorded in, it is in fact illegal. Damn, that's crazy. Somebody should press charges. That's nuts.
Emily steps forward to her encouraged by both Brony Fandont and Amy. Both users of the Brony Fandont account had direct access to the Emu Emmy Discord account, and KP was talking with it since the very beginning. And neither of them did a background check on her until after the video exploded. KP was told not to put in Emily's allegations. She was told this by Lio Convoy.
Then that needs to be handled by the cops.
When Lio Convoy is the voice of reason, I think it's time to just give up. I think it's time to give up. I really do. I really do. When Lio Convoy is like hitting you with hard truths, it's really time to reevaluate the choices that you've made that led you to this exact moment in your life. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about?
Like, period. Like, 100% period. That needs a police report filed today. Here's the problem, though, with that inherently. If that did happen, and Saber did do that, he will by nature know who it is.
Oh,
so if
I
it
said
gets
that.
out in any way, shape, or form, and a police report hasn't been filed, she's going to be at risk. Like,
True.
That's just the truth of the matter in this. And it's unpleasant, it's ugly, but that's the truth.
KP, of course, didn't seem to listen, as we all know how that story ended. The video was enlisted.
Great question here. Layla is on fire in chat today. Like, yeah, are we going to talk about how Lio Convoy is like a fabled internet pedophile hunter who actually does fucking nothing? Like, where do we think that KP got the idea for all this? Where do we think that she got the inspiration to believe that it was a good idea to go down this path of internet predator hunter? From Lio. From Lio. She saw the success, quote unquote, if you can call it success, that Lio got from doing this shit, and so she wanted to pick up the reins. All these fucking idiots did. All these fucking idiots were like, I have a really good idea. I see that when Lio's channel goes into a lull, he uploads these videos where he screams at pedophiles in Discord calls, and he gets a boost in viewership. I'm going to do the same thing. I think, yeah, great point. Great point. Explaining who Lio is would be very important here. And tragically, anybody who's anybody knows who Lio is true. But Lio is actually a fucking nobody. Lio has like 20k subs on YouTube. Lio's a fucking nobody. Pretty much everyone involved in this is, except for Saberspark, which is embarrassing, right? Again, if you want to take shots at big guys, you got to get them down in the first hit, so.
And then privated soon after. But by that point, it was too late. The damage was done. She seemed to really want to get this video to the public, as is. For the entire month of March, they didn't even bother to ask, are you sure the dates are correct? Now, it's known that KP basically asked for a bunch of assets.
I think that demonstrates right there that they didn't give a fuck if it was accurate or not. They just wanted to fucking crucify this guy. Like, what oh my god! You can literally draw a line from A to B to C all the way through the fucking alphabet, and it's like, well, I can't speculate on their mindset. That's literally the whole fucking point, Mr. Enter! That is the whole fucking point! All they wanted to do was churn out this fucking video to vindicate KP's hate boner. That's it! That's it! Oh, well, we should hear all sides, you guys. It's not just about believe all victims. It's not about, you know, we need to see the recording of the rape live in It's not about that, guys. It's about nuance and meaning. No, it's not! You can draw a very clear, distinct line from point A to B to C to D to E to E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P. You can draw the line. They didn't even check the dates, bro. Obviously, they did this maliciously because they wanted to fuck over Saber Spark because they hate him. It's obvious. Sorry, I need to calm down. Wow, I need to relax. That's crazy. Anyway, I'm fine.
And voice acting from various places. And the common story is that no one had any information about what the video was about at all. From what I could tell, each of the individuals involved had a varying set of knowledge. Like the guy who voiced the Eggman meme thing, he didn't even know that he was being put in this, which is weird on the face of it because that's not even the original meme. It's a cosplayer doing a read-over. No one really knows why KP put that version in the video. I actually had a hard time finding it. I guess maybe because the voice sounds more like Saber Spark than the original. I really don't know. Some people only apparently got context of their specific little piece of the video. Like the disclaimer, for example, probably only got the disclaimer at the start. If you want special insight though, Lazy Bedhead was featured in the video, reading an email. She did seem to get more context than most seem to have gotten, but it was still just random chunks of information. Nobody truly knew how bad the video would become. Meanwhile, Courtney Pete had more extensive knowledge of the video that seemingly anyone else had, but claims to have not seen the video before it aired.
Well, and also, it has been shown that Courtney was helping, like, amend the statement. So obviously she knew enough. Obviously she knew enough. Maybe she didn't know the tone. She didn't know that the tone was going to be ridiculous. Maybe she didn't know, you know, particularly what was going to go where, whatever. But she knew enough. She knew enough. And then again, it's radioactive. It's a bad choice. It's a bad choice, optically, to have somebody fighting CSA survivors in your comments. And again, everybody knows that that Courtney is somebody who just like goes. She was not installed with brakes. And anybody who's been around her knows that. And that's why you just let her like do her own thing, but you don't do it at the detriment of your own content, at your own magnum opus hit piece. If you've been working on this hit piece for over a year, and you know that Courtney is, again, not equipped with brakes, why would you hinge part of your credibility on somebody that doesn't know when to stop? And there's a time and a place, okay? Sometimes it's hilarious. Sometimes it's super funny. Sometimes you do need somebody who doesn't know when to shut the fuck up. Sometimes that's exactly what you're looking for. This isn't it. Why would you hinge your credibility on that? She knows better. She knows better. I can't.
Despite featuring in it heavily and berating people in the premiere who did not like it. Very few people had the full context. And I believe people when they say they didn't know X, Y, and Z. But
yeah,
if I have to be absolutely frank, it doesn't exactly absolve everyone of everything. June the King's part of this video especially sticks out to me, because that part specifically does not need context to be bad. Here's what he literally says, and just those lines alone shows you the problem, where it's full of probablys, conflicting and soft language, speculation, and the last thing you'd expect in a June the King video, or any video about serious allegations. It is not something that you should have read on its own merit, never mind the construction of the rest of the video. This is opposed to the
I would like June the King to give a statement. I will only be able to rest when June the King gives a statement. That is when I will know peace.
That Lazy read or the disclaimers at the start, those were largely innocuous. Which reminds me, in the June part, there's this line here.
Chris also tries to steer the conversation to not include too much explicitly, stating that, quote, there is a baby in the other room, unquote.
This gives the impression that Chris in the video is being quoted literally. He is not. Chris literally says this.
Right. And
part of my PD version, I have a 6-year-old in the other room, so.
So what's the deal here? Chris is using this as an excuse to soften his language and not quote the story literally with all of its grotesque, revolting details. And I want to be clear and upfront. The story is gross and it's a shameful thing that no one should ever...
I think I might be having a stroke. I think this might be it for me. Am I hearing, like, he is actually just being like, I'm using, like, PG language because there's a kid in the room. Is he not allowed, is that bad that he did that? Am I hearing this right? Somebody vibe check me. Somebody fucking vibe check me right now. Is that what he's implying right now? That he's doing this to weasel out of accountability? Is that... Please tell me that's not what's happening. Do I need to let it play? Let's let it play more. Please tell me I'm hearing this wrong. Please tell me that I'm hearing this wrong.
Ever really be talking about. Why is this sleight of hand a big deal? Because a 6-year-old and a baby are not the same thing. Now, I will be frank, you should not be talking about this kind of stuff around a baby. But if you do, they're probably not going to remember it. Meanwhile, a 6...
Okay, I'm just gonna let him cook, question mark?
6-year-old is going to be repeating the story to all of their friends the next day at school. Intentionally or not, it changes the dynamic of the excuse. This call was recorded without Chris's knowledge or consent.
Okay.
This is not the first time that KP had done
Okay,
it.
I think that I was having a stroke there. That's my bad. Okay, because yeah, if somebody was like, will you please tell the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? And I'm like, I have to use neutered language because I have a youngling Padawan here that can't know the dark side of the Force yet. People would be like, oh, that tracks. That makes sense. I guess. Whatever.
The Lily Orchard video, she made that very clear. Now, fuck Lily Orchard, but a lot of other people have also speculated that she has recorded other conversations without consent. I have no proof of this, but considering KP has done it twice now, the speculation is extremely common. Even in cases where this is not illegal, it is bad form. And I'll tell you why. When you record people without consent, simply put, people become hesitant to talk to you at all. Even if you record quote-unquote bad people only. Because then it's your perception of them that they have to worry about. And no one wants that kind of headache because they can't read your mind. It's bad ethics to record even bad people without their consent. In the video, KP states that Chris should have known that the call was being recorded because it was quote-unquote about safety. This is the very same video that has a long segment by Courtney Pete.
I'm also going to take this hat off because my head's getting hot. My head's getting hot. I'm sorry. My head's getting warm. It's getting a little hot. It's getting a little toasty. I got to take the hat off. I'm so sorry. I got to take the hat off. But I can, maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll do this. I think this is also going to be too hot, but we're just going to try it. Hang on. No, too much. We're just going to take a break. We're just going to take a break because my head's getting hot. Okay, hang on. Let me back up. One second.
Going on and on about how to record mind. It's bad ethics to record even bad people without their consent. In the video, KP states that Chris should have known that the call was being recorded because it was quote-unquote about safety. This is the very same video that has a long segment by Courtney Pete going on and on about how implied consent is not a thing. KP also went on later to state in the DMs with Emily that implied consent is quote-unquote kinda BS. If I need to spell it out for you, KP thought consent to be recorded was implied in this conversation. Consent is more than just about sex, I hope you realize.
Oh my god, that's literally what I said. Oh my god, so true.
The entire call itself is about Chris being regretful and remorseful. At no point does he ever say, I didn't do it, you deserved it, you bitch. He's saying all the things that an offended party would want to hear. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that, it was wrong, it's disgusting, I'm sorry. He doesn't even bring up that this happened years ago. The only thing that he says in his defense is that he's doing things to get better, like going to therapy. Does Chris deserve to be forgiven? I don't know. That's not my call to make. Does he deserve to be hunted down a decade later by his ex-boss after doing this grotesque, egregious thing and fired from all of his jobs that he currently has? That's not my call either. The only comment I really have on
just say no. That's insane. Just say no. That's crazy. Because it is. Because it is. It was literally more than 10 years ago, and he said sorry. And it's over an inappropriate joke. It's not like he fucking killed somebody. It's not like he killed a family of 5. It's not like he literally participated in the fucking Holocaust. Like, he told, like, a fucked up joke, like, fucking 10 years ago. More than 10 years ago. Have you, dear viewer, told a really fucked up joke in the past? You deserve to be killed in a video game. Like, come on, dude. I'm not familiar with Mr. Enter's with Mr. Enter's content. This guy's a little spineless weasel fuck too. Are all these people little spineless weasel fucks? All of them? Nobody can say, no, actually, I think it's bad to want to crucify somebody, quite literally, 10 years after the fact, when he's sorry. Even, honestly, let's be 100% real. Even if he was like, no, actually, fuck you, bitch. I thought that joke was fucking hilarious, and I'll tell it again. Does that mean that we want him fired from every potential job for the rest of his life ever over a joke that's over 10 years old? People have said incredibly fucked up, evil, horrific, heinous, detestable, evil things to me in my life. And I'm sure everybody can relate. At some point in your life, somebody has said something truly evil to you. I'm sure. It's happened to the best of us, right? That doesn't mean that I want that person to be literally fucked for the rest of their life. It's so juvenile. Who cares? Grow up. It was literal years ago. How many of you guys think about things that happened to you, like, literally years ago? I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Matter is that the mercy you give to others tends to be the mercy that you get from others. The call itself—
Shut the fuck up, Sai. I'm dyslexic.
Makes some really confusing points that makes it hard to know where Rachel is coming from exactly. KP appears to believe that Chris is using the story to, like, fluff himself up with other men. She directly compares it to the Trump Billy Bush thing, almost as if Saber Spark or Will from DA Games were supposed to be, I don't know, impressed by it.
As an analogy is kind of the Trump locker room talk, and excuse my French, but I feel like that's kind of what it feels like. You kind of boasted yourself up around another guy, and, you know, you kind of—
No, that's 100% accurate. That's a very good analogy, actually.
Okay.
Mostly ever.
Well, I mean, again, it's like, I guess you had to be there to get the joke. I guess you had to be there. But, like, yeah, it's kind of like, oh yeah, I totally went to third base with her, and you didn't. Oh yeah, I have a girlfriend. You just don't know her. She goes to a different school, and yeah, she totally kissed me. Like, totally, we totally kissed. It totally happened. Yeah, we held hands and everything. Yes, it did. Yes, it happened. It's like that's the equivalent of, like, why you would say you jizzed on her undies, I don't know. I don't pretend to know. That's kind of weird for me. But that's exactly what it is, right? Like, oh yeah, we totally held hands. Yeah. We even kissed once. Twice even. It was crazy, yeah.
Never see him is at conventions if he happens to be at the same one.
Okay, so, you know, you're not in an environment where this would have come up anyway.
Never.
So he would probably be
never. He's 100%
never.
Unaware. Like, again, I can't stress enough is that in the times I ever told the story, it was, as you described it, locker room talk with a very small amount of people in a private call. I never told it publicly, and I never, ever told it to anyone like Saber Spark.
As a man myself, if you're telling me a story like that in hopes of getting a job, I'm going to tell you to get bent. I don't know how this was even a speculation.
It wasn't to get a job. It was to flex to the hoes. Hey, boys, I totally went to third base. Yeah, she totally let me see her honkers. She totally did. It's just like a dumb, like, guy thing. It's like, yeah, I totally smashed, bro. I totally smashed. She was so into it, bro. Yeah. It's like, yes, was it cringe and stupid and dumb and probably like a weird extension of that? Yes, but that's obviously what it was. Oh my god, kill me.
In Rachel's mind. She may have had a point in like 2015 when edgelords dominated the platform, but we're in the 2020s. Influencers tend to be very progressive, at least publicly facing. Even if they're faking their values, anyone telling sexist or racist or transphobic, or stories like this.
Yeah, guys, no sexism, racism, or transphobia in chat, not even as a joke. Not even as a joke. I'm watching you. Not allowed. Not allowed.
A liability, and nobody wants that. And honestly, KP's video might be a good example as to why. The fact of the matter is that if Rachel's video didn't accuse Saber Spark of sexual assault, a lot of people probably would have taken her side against Chris, in spite of the video's tone and construction. After Saber Spark's response video came out, some people still did. This conversation was the impetus of a year-long campaign to get Chris fired. And when that didn't happen, KP made a video on the people who wouldn't fire them over the course of 6 months. And she hypes this up to hell and back. And by March, she's claiming that she has career-ruining allegations against Saberspark. She won't tell anyone exactly what those are because apparently she wanted to blindside the man. In the video proper, the Black Griffin stuff is like only a footnote, by the way.
Guys, I have this mega nuke. I have life-ruining allegations against Cy Scribbles. I do. Like, literally, once I tell you, you're gonna, like, hire a hitman. They're so bad. They're so terrible. You guys are never gonna believe it. No, I can't tell you what they are. I have to blindside Cy. Nobody can know about it because it's gonna be a big surprise when I tell everybody about it. Cy will never see it coming. But yes, I do have these allegations. I do plan on making a video about them. Yes, it's gonna be a really big, epic hit piece. No, I can't tell you about it because it has to be a surprise. I say on a public platform where Cy literally is. Very cool. Very smart.
Courtney gives a brief rundown and basically says, go watch my video on it. Meanwhile, the Black Griffin stuff is the only thing against Saberspark that seems to have publicly stuck. On March 25th of this year, Emily goes forward to Amy, telling her a story about Saberspark. Within 24 hours, Amy has contacted Brony Fandont, and Emily is telling her story directly to KP. From the beginning, both of these had access to who Emily Jones was, and the ability to look up the controversies revolving around her. KP decided to believe Emily based on testimony matching experiences and quote-unquote seeming to be in character with him. This is not a good standard of evidence.
Vibes,
Anyone who knows someone well enough can make up a story about them doing some deranged fuck-up thing that quote-unquote fits with their character. I'll even state for the record, if the allegations weren't out in the open already, I would not be platforming them. Even if you believe them wholeheartedly, it's a risk in every sense of the word. Reputation risk, lawsuit risk, and the risk that you may have been lied to or taken advantage of. It is alright to believe a story, but if you want to platform something, you need evidence, and you need hard evidence, especially when the person you're talking to has an audience of their own, which KP should have known. But let's say that you're just desperate to quote-unquote do something right. Maybe stop a time or two and listen to the advice of those around you. With the exception of the editor of the video.
Yeah, dude, everybody take a big deep breath. I need you to listen to what Lyle Convoy is about to say. You're never gonna believe it, but Lyle Convoy is cooking right now. You need to listen, okay?
Who is uncredited and I'm not interested in unmasking. It's hard to know who saw the video in its entirety beforehand. Besides Emily, I only got 2 objective names of people who were at least shown some version of the video before it was uploaded. Lyle Convoy and Courtney Pete. Lyle Convoy was too busy with real life business, and the version he was shown anyway was an early...
What do you think his real life business is? Like hunting and skinning cats for his fucking lion masks. He's filling his Mountain Dew chalice. He's busy! Not now, kitten. Daddy is doing taxidermy with the kitten's carcasses. Oh my god. What do you think Lyle Convoy does in real life? What does he do? What does he do? Like, he's walking around. Like, you guys could be at the grocery store and Lyle Convoy could be right behind you. And you wouldn't even know it. Well, you probably would. You'd be able to smell him. But, like, you know what I mean? Isn't that crazy? Like, he walks among us. He walks among us. Terrifying. Absolutely fucking horrific. Horrific. Ugh. Terrible. 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 Absolutely horrible. God, I can't wait until nobody clip this out of context. No clipping right for the next 20 seconds. I can't wait until my animals die so I can put them in decorative urns and put them in the backdrop of all of my streams to make everybody violently uncomfortable. That's what I look forward to most. Oh my god. Honey, fetch me my chalice of Mountain Dew. I have to insult intellectually disabled adults on the internet. Not now, kitten. Daddy is cussing out people with TBIs. No, honey, the Mountain Dew chalice stays in bed with us. I'm sorry, I have to keep watching. I'm sorry, I'm done.
Clear draft before the Saberspark allegation was put into it. And I reiterate, when he figured out what KP was going to do, he specifically told her not to put it in the video.
I also imagine the chalice is not washed. The stream is threatening my sobriety, just how I like it.
Courtney P claims that she didn't see the video at all, despite being in it, extensively, multiple times, despite working with Emily and giving feedback to her testimony and having direct sway over it, despite berating people in the comments during the video's premiere. I'm not saying that Courtney Pete is lying. I'm saying 2 separate things. 1, I wouldn't blame anyone who comes to that conclusion of their own accord, and 2, if she is telling the truth, her not watching the video does not absolve her of the blame of the video's quality. Courtney had segments where she took the lead. She was giving behind-the-scenes feedback to Emily. There is one other name of someone who apparently gave...
No, let's not do behind-the-scenes feedback. Let's be pretty clear and direct here, Mr. Semantic Turbo Autism. Let's be really direct here. She helped doctor the allegations. Let's be really clear about that. That's what we did here. It wasn't, oh, she gave feedback. No, she helped write the allegations. Totally different thing.
KP feedback. Casey. If Casey is to be believed, she knew the video was in production and also told KP to not fucking do this. After the video was unlisted and then privated, KP claimed the tone was broken because she had never made a video like this before. This is a lie. This is objectively a lie. Last year, she had made a video on Lily Orchard with the help of Courtney Pete. I have my issues with that video too. Once again, recording someone without consent, and she also starts with the least compelling argument against Lily Orchard. Pretending.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. Like, the Lily Orchard video is actually really good. I won't lie. Like, it is really good. And the reason that it is really good is because she took everybody's feedback and she didn't make it like a meme hit piece that to throw in like every fucking allegation that has ever existed about Lily Orchard. But I will agree that she did make a pretty critical mistake because she did start with like the least compelling of the allegations. It's like, oh, well, she lies about being a Native American. She's a pretendian. It's like, aren't there like literal rape allegations here? Why don't we start with that? I think I would start with that. I don't know if I would start with, oh, well, one time in a galaxy far, far away. It's like, no, we're going to start over here, actually. Just my opinion. It's a stylistic choice, I suppose, at the end of the day. But the reason that that video was successful is because it had a tone that was serious. It was pretty direct. It went in a linear fashion, and it was easy to follow. Like, I don't understand how she can watch the video that she made on Lily Orchard and then say, I have an idea, I want to make another one of these videos, and then do the complete fucking opposite and then act surprised when it doesn't land. Because there are reasons that that video was successful, and there was reasons that that video was liked. And she did the literal fucking opposite for her Saber Spark video. And again, everybody hates a brony. Everybody hates an alleged pedophile. Everybody hates an alleged groomer. Like, you had this guy on a silver platter. Hook, line, and sinker. You could have fucking nuked this guy from orbit. Even if the allegations were bullshit, and you biffed it. You biffed it. I don't know how she fucked it up. It's incredible. It's spectacular.
That can be considered bearing the lead. But other than that, the video itself was largely fine. Of course, according to Random Anons, that video was meant to be similar to the Saberspark and DA Games video in tone, but she had to be begged out of it. I'm not sure if I can believe that, since she clearly didn't take any advice for this video. I doubt that advice would have influenced it in the previous case, but this is what people have told me. My only real problem with the Lily Orchard video is when it came out, 2024. That is very, very late in the Lily Orchard timeline. Rachel claims that she was only kicking Lily Orchard to the curb then because of her own triggers. Counterpoint 1. She made a video in part about DA Games, which is tied to a grooming scandal.
Oh no, we're joining the war on Lily Orchard and KP on the side of Lily Orchard. Oh no! No, Mr. Enter! No! You can't make me choose! This is so true, though. This is so true, though. This is so true. And I literally asked KP these questions. Literally, it was me, bitch. It was me. Does anybody remember that? I literally asked these questions. It's like, I understand, you know, everybody has their own sensibilities, their own, you know, rationale or whatever the fuck. But it does seem like rat behavior to only bail when the ship starts sinking. No, you should probably flee when you notice the first signs of fuckery afoot. But I mean, I just think, I don't know. It's like, he's not wrong that this was pretty late in the game, but you also have to remember, like, I think about it this way, and I think this is true, and you guys might disagree with this, but I just think that this is undeniably true. I think if you know someone, your gut reaction almost always is like, no shot somebody could do this. Like, that's almost always your gut reaction. But I think, given evidence, people change their mind pretty quickly, I would say, right? Like, if somebody, I keep picking on Sai, I'll pick on somebody else. Let me pick on somebody else. Oh my god, I don't know. I'll pick on Anthony. He's not even here. Yes, let's pick on him. He's not here. If somebody messaged me and they were like, hey, just so you know, Anthony is like a giga rapist, I'd be like, what? You're full of shit, dude. I don't believe you. Show me something about that. I don't believe you. I don't believe he would do that. Show me something. No way. No shot. I think that's normal. What's not normal is being shown evidence and then saying, la 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 la, I'm triggered, I can't look, la 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 la, suddenly I can't read, la 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 la, pretends I can't read. That's not normal. But I think that it is normal to defensively, like almost as a gut reaction, be like, no shot, dude, you're full of shit. Like, if somebody came to me and said, you know, so-and-so did this horrible thing, I'd be like, nah, no way. Show me. You're lying. Show me. Show me. Right? I think that's a normal reaction. There's a difference between that and just like, I pretend I do not see. And in my opinion, it did feel to me like KP was more, I pretend I do not see, but how the fuck was I just walked in ass first into the Lily Orchard thing and the Poppy thing. I just kind of happened upon it. To be fair, I could have gone a lot harder on KP. I could have also gone a lot harder on Courtney at the time. But like, here's my perspective, and I just want you guys to hear this, and then we'll continue on with the video. I felt like I was rummaging through the Skyrim chest, and then I heard a new hand touches the beacon, and I was like, oh fuck, what the fuck are you talking about right now? And I'm like trying to read like the wiki how. I'm like, what is this fucking quest? Like, what am I even supposed to be doing? While people are giving me information. So yes, in the moment, I was kind of like, okay, yeah. I guess that makes sense. Hindsight is 2020. Obviously, I'm like, okay, this is kind of weird. But like, what do you want from me? Okay, what do you want from me? I'm not perfect. I know you think that I am. I can't help it. It's because I'm an Aries. But like, yes, obviously at the time I was kind of like, that's kind of weird. But I mean, I guess that makes sense. Like, hindsight is 2020. Again, whatever. Say what you will about me. I am not infallible, okay? You may cast stones at me. I deserve them as just as much as the next person, okay? But at the time, I was like, I don't know if this is really the hill that I want to die on. So instead, I wish that I was dead. I wish that I would have died on the hill many moons ago, and we wouldn't be fucking here.
Point 2. Lily Orchard's internet story is filled with scandals of a wide variety. Even if Stockholm, Tara Callie, Courtney Pete were all too much, the Josh Scorcher fallout is something that everyone heard about.
That's what we're going to talk about, Josh Scorcher.
Community. Between not betting Emily Jones' backstory at all until after the video was made, and doing an interview with Angry Slug, who doesn't even really have an audience, something is fundamentally wrong here. It's one thing to look past the flaws of your friends and acquaintances. Literally every single person I interact with knows the June the King video on me front to back. Some of them have even been there with me through those controversies. So it's not like the people I interact with are not aware of my flaws. I haven't talked too much about the tone of the video and its actual construction, because honestly, it's not even secondary. It's beyond tertiary. There are people saying that you shouldn't have any jokes or humor or anything in a video like this, when I don't think that's quite true. Lacey Bedhead herself has some skits in her videos, and sometimes people do something so objectively stupid and out of left field that there's always going to be humor in it. Like Mama Max thinking that the best way to hunt predators is not contacting the police and instead sending them photographs of his ass. Let me put it this way. I love Kim.
I mean, anything's possible through Christ. I mean, by the laws of infinite probability, you guys, it's possible, I guess.
Possible a lot has been having the PFP of Shigo from Kim Possible this entire time as she goes through her villain arc. I wouldn't blame anyone for finding that objectively funny. Anyone who comments on this whole ordeal is going to comment on this line here.
For some reason, people think I'm unqualified to do this.
I think they might have been onto something.
Which has, for all intents and purposes, become mimetic. In a discussion about difficult allegations, you can't be blamed for finding that humorous. That's without even bringing up the fact that the video she uses to quote-unquote disprove her rep is a video that's on her own channel. Putting humor in a video like this is all about the craft and constructing the video well enough to support the humor within it. Keeping in mind
hot take, jokes are fine, they just have to be funny. That's the take, and I'm objectively correct. Jokes about pretty much anything are fine as long as they're funny. And I guarantee that you agree with that, because I'm sure that there is an incredibly fucked up taboo topic. There's probably an evil joke that you laugh at in the quiet dark of your own privacy of your own home because you don't want to get canceled by the woke left or whatever. But as long as it's funny, it's acceptable to you. That's just true. Jokes are fine as long as they're funny. That's the rule. That's just true.
Everyone else seems to be missing. Flow. There is a prolonged Seinfeld joke, for instance. So this video claims to be about DA Games and Saberspark. It's actually about aficionados Chris in the end. You know how none of those names are actually Jerry Seinfeld? So, Jerry Seinfeld dating a 17-year-old. It's gross, it's not something that he should have done, and I can go on and on about that. Why are we wasting all of this time on Jerry Seinfeld, of all people? Why not Jared from Subway? Why not P. Diddy? Why not comment on the Drake controversy?
It's because she's old, Mr. Enter. It's because she's old. She's the Crypt Keeper!
Famous, alleged sickos in the world. Are any of them relevant at all to the discussion of DA Games, Saberspark, or Aficionados Chris? No, Jerry Seinfeld is irrelevant. You should not be doing a prolonged Seinfeld bit in a video about
So is Michael Vick, and so is the fucking Bush family. It's because she's old.
Gag would probably actually work if you wanted to like a documentary about Jerry Seinfeld and his controversies. Then it would actually fit. It doesn't fit here. With so many digressions, it becomes so easy to just get lost in the video. I did at one point want to deconstruct this bit by bit, but you really can't. Because when we spend 2 minutes
because it's so bad,
moon, we literally learn no new information. It just literally reiterates what Rachel just said. The video goes back and forth with these random tangents that have nothing to do with anything. It is one of the biggest slogs of a video that I've ever had to see. And I had to watch this.
My brother would like to punch me whenever I step out of line, most notably for me eating my boogers, because he believed that he was doing something right and making the world a better place, or even making my life a better place. So he was basically a social justice warrior at the age of 5. He did this because some kid in his class got made fun for picking his nose, and that gave my brother
when you guys are being mean to me, this is who you're being mean to. This is literally me, just so you know.
Wanted to make sure that I didn't do that same mistake. You can blame my brother for why I don't like the right. In politics, that is. I am left-leaning, for the record, liberal.
And even after that, I could not comprehend what Rachel was saying. But I actually do want to talk more about Eggman pissing on the moon specifically, because this joke here actually happens to be relevant and speaks to a larger problem.
I've come to make an announcement. Shadow the Hedgehog is a bitch-ass motherfucker. He pissed on my fucking wife. That's right. He said his dick was this big, and I said, that's disgusting.
So this is a fan dub of a fan dub. The original clip comes from Sonic Adventure. Then this guy here made a meme of it.
So I'm making a call-out post on my Twitter.com. Shadow the Hedgehog, you got a small dick. It's the size of the...
Is there anything left in this that's worth talking about? Final thoughts. Let's just do final thoughts, guys. Let's do final thoughts.
The problem is that so many cases, most of them, are in the gray area, especially in cases of sexual assault, where perception is a large component of what constitutes the crime. It's hard to prove or disprove what someone was thinking, but what someone was thinking of is a core tenet of when something goes too far. It must be stated once again that innocent until proven guilty is for both the accuser and the accused. The only thing that I could really do in this video is lay all of the findings on the table. If you believe Emily Jones, if you believe Saber Spark, or if you don't believe anyone, that's your prerogative. Just remember that you can't legally state what you can't prove, or you may be in just as much trouble as I believe KP will be in. And I'll state, I believe that she is in serious trouble for what she did. No matter what the truth of the matter is. Either the allegations are true and she botched investigation beyond all belief, or they're false, and she elevated a horrendous controversy against, for all intents and purposes, an innocent man.
Oh my god, I said that.
She will get sued for defamation by Saberspark. It really is only a question
of... Oh, I missed a big part? What part did I miss? Timestamp me, Jabber. No, I don't want to do the Sonic meme, no.
Merciful that he wants to be at this point. Whatever you believe, even if you believe the worst of someone, I personally believe that it's no reason to harass anyone, even if whoever you're doing it to is the worst person imaginable. When you harass something, there are 3 general scenarios. Number 1, you might be harassing someone who doesn't deserve it at all. Number 2, you may be goading someone unstable into doing something unstable. Or 3, you may actively be putting yourself in danger by pissing someone off who is legitimately dangerous.
Oh,
and
true.
while you're doing this, you're blurring the lines of the truth and making it harder to get to its source. Let me put it this way. One of the things that Saber Spark is accused of is going out of his way to harass Claire's father online. I'm willing to believe that Ian Corlett is the worst person in this entire story. I've heard the recordings, and they're not pretty. I will state for the record that Ann Corlett is a douchebag. I can believe that he is a person with a character who is worth harassing. That being said, who did Saberspark allegedly harassing him benefit? It didn't sway anyone's opinion on the Claire Corlett Black Griffin matter. It didn't stop Ian from doing anything that he was doing. The only effect it actually had in the real world was making Saberspark look even more biased in the Black Griffin scandal. There is no legitimate reason to harass anyone. So what's the lesson here? The lesson is to go to the police. I know that we live in an ACAB time, and a lot of people aren't too fond
of ACAB! ACAB! Guys, the cops are bad. Did you guys know that? ACAB includes meter maids. Yeah. ACAB includes people that don't like the stream. ACAB includes people that don't give me their money.
The cops, especially here in the United States. Go to the police as your first option. Seriously. The sooner, the better. The police will be harsh. They will criticize your story. And yes, they will even try to catch you in their lies. They may even actively disbelieve you. But, for better or worse, the police system is the only ones with proper authority to get you justice. Because all of that I walked you...
Also, it's a paper trail, guys. It's a paper trail. Do people not remember what Me Too was born out of? Do we not remember what Me Too is for? Me Too was when there were people in significant positions of power that were abusing, women, and there was no recourse for it. The cops wouldn't help. The organizations that these men worked for wouldn't help. Me Too, public flogging and public nuking was a last-ditch effort for these women who were not supported in any meaningful way by the organizations they weren't supported by law enforcement. They weren't supported by, other women in the industry. They weren't supported by anybody. So their last resort was to go public with these allegations in order to get people to pay attention and have some kind of recourse for what was happening to them when they couldn't get justice in any other avenue. The problem is that nowadays, everybody treats the quote-unquote Me Too option like the first line of defense. Like, something bad happens, the first thing that you do is you nuke that bitch publicly. Wrong. That's actually the last line of defense that you do against people like this. If this really happened, the first thing you should do is contact the police. If the police can't help you, you should try to contact people in that person's life and say, like, hey, just so you know, this person did this, that, and the other thing, da-da-da. That's when you would say, like, organizations that people are working for, whatever the fuck. After that, if that doesn't work and they say, fuck you, I don't care, you're a liar, or whatever, that's when you kind of start looking at options to publicly out somebody as an abuser. It's because people were allowed to be in positions of power for extended periods of time with little to no, if any, accountability for the actions, the abuse of these women in these communities. But for whatever reason, we skip every single other fucking step, and we're like, I have an idea, nuke him. No. People forget what Me Too was about. Me Too specifically was accountability and justice for people who could not get justice through the proper channels. That means that you actually have to try the proper channel first. We don't just immediately blow up the world, okay? There's escalative steps, okay?
You through all of the videos and all of the background on this. All of this shit. True or not, it's not justice, no matter what the fuck happened. All of this is a clusterfuck. If you have 10 hours or, hell, 10 days, I could go over all of the controversies that YouTuber vigilantes have created over the years. Look really hard into Mama Max. EDP tried to meet up with a 14-year-old girl for a quote-unquote cupcake, and he got away with one of the most clear-cut cases imaginable, because the people who tried to sting him were focused on content instead of justice. Honestly, it's not even just tied to YouTube in general. It's To Catch a Predator, Chris Hansen's show, ended up getting a guy killed. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that if you're trying to do the hero thing, getting someone killed is a very real possibility. Assuming that Brony Fandont wasn't faking, look what almost happened here. The last...
No, don't make this about Brony Fandont. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. The pot stirrer does not get to walk away as the victim in this situation. I should say one of the pot stirrers. Fuck that. That's a disgusting framing. The worst case scenario here is that somebody who is on this Saber Spark kill yourself train or whatever the fuck, that somebody goes after him in real life and hurts him. That is the concern. That is the concern. It's not that these people dramatically pretend to jump off of a fucking bridge to escape accountability because they chose to stir the pot. No, 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 no. The tragic outcome that comes from these allegations and false allegations in general, and again, whether or not you believe these allegations, that's totally up to you, dude. It's a free fucking country. Believe whoever you want in this situation. I don't care, okay? The point being is that people who have allegations levied against them, if they're false, one, that person is put in exceptional danger because some crazy fucking person might believe them and try to hurt them in real life. That's situation number one. Situation number two is that this person's life is essentially over, so they kill themselves. I would be more concerned with Saberspark fucking killing himself, with this Chris guy killing himself. My understanding is that Chris has like a wife and kids now, bro. He has like a whole fucking family, and this bitch dove all the way down 800 leagues, 9,000, 10 million leagues under the fucking sea to drag up these allegations, and that puts people's lives in jeopardy. For what? A vendetta that you have because you didn't get the closure that you felt like you deserved, that you actually already fucking got 10 times over. How many people get to sit down with people that said something mean, cruel, offensive, hurtful, disgusting to them, and they apologize and say, I was in a really fucked up part of my life. I shouldn't have said that. Really fucking inappropriate of me. I'm really sorry, and I cannot say sorry enough. It was wrong of me to do that. I'm sorry. How many people get to hear that? Almost nobody. Almost nobody. And you decide to dig this up, and the worst case scenario is this dude's life is fucking ruined because not only did you drag this up, you just honestly clipped it that he actually sexually harassed you, borderline sexually assaulted you in real life. People kill themselves over this shit. That's terrifying. That's scary. That's bad. Fuck that. Fuck that. The dude that points a loaded gun at somebody and pulls the trigger is the one that we're concerned about in this situation. Not the bitch that almost got fucking killed. Are you for real right now? Mr. Enter. Mr. Enter. Mr. Enter. Did you edit this video yourself? Mr. Enter. Guys. Oh my god.
That you should ever go to looking for justice is a YouTuber. Says the YouTuber. Look, if you like this video and the previous investigations, great. If you think that literally everything I've said in both those videos is airtight, perfect in them, you're naive. I am not a doctor, policeman, lawyer, magician, superhero. I'm not even a journalist. I'm a random guy on the internet who talks about cartoons, and plenty of people don't even think that I'm good at that. Rachel was a random woman on the internet who talks about cartoons, and she wanted to bring very serious allegations to light. If it sounds ridiculous, it's because it's ridiculous. And I will state, it's not like I'm not aware with the various problems with our justice system. It's harsh, it can be unfair and biased, and in some ways, going through it can be traumatic.
Oh no, did my shit clip?
If Emily did go to the court system, you'd better believe that Saberspark's attorney would be bringing up all of her dirty laundry. And even beyond that, sometimes justice still isn't served. A lot of people still believe all kinds of things about Mandapony, even though, as far as I can tell, nothing came of the criminal investigation against him. And you hear plenty of people saying that there's really compelling evidence against him.
Well, let's be totally real.
The Innocence Project finds new people.
Yeah, this shit's lagging hard. Like, let's be real. Let's be totally real. OJ was acquitted. Everybody still believes OJ did it. Okay. There's no pound of flesh that is enough for people like KP, Brony Fandont, any of these people. That's the problem with internet lynch mob culture, is there is nothing that is good enough for them. Nothing is good enough for them. Until that person is quite literally like fucking dead and destitute, and I'm not being hyperbolic. Like the end game here was for Chris to lose his job 10 years after the fact and be basically blacklisted from the community that he's built his career in because of a joke that he made how many years ago? A joke that he made how many years ago? There is nothing other than sudden death that is good enough for people like KP. And it's disgusting. It's actually disgusting because you got what the closure that people dream of. you got the resolution that people write like fantasy novels about. Like, you got to sit down with the person who made you uncomfortable. He apologized, he's changed, and he hasn't done it again. And that's not good enough. That's not good enough. Literally, fuck you, bitch. I hate you.
People who are falsely convicted year after year. This does not mean that our justice system is pointless or it should be avoided. It means that it's a part of our imperfect reality. Sometimes, unfortunately, you get the short straw. But you have to remember, sometimes you don't. And since we survived so long as a country, there must be something to our institutions. If the police are too intimidating, there are plenty of separate organizations depending on your particular issue. RAIN is the recommended resource in terms of cases of sexual assault.
includes RAIN.
You'll have to do your own research based on your own specific dilemma. But I can promise you, for pretty much any issue, there are resources out there. I can get the temptation to go to YouTubers. On the face of it, they appear friendlier. They appear more understanding. And we have the appearance of having our shit together. We don't have our shit together. We do not have our shit together.
Oh, wow. Good place to end. It's true, you don't have your shit together. I need to put my silly hat back on so I can calm down. Yeah, that was dog shit. That was dog shit. Whoever predicted guaranteed Malcolm crash out was 100% correct. That was a guaranteed, that is a guaranteed crash out.